Clock, welcome back in as we head into the final couple hours here. I was just looking at the US dollar moving back to the upside. In afternoon trading here, it has been negative, or had been negative for most of the day. Very, very tiny, though, daily range here for the DXY, trying to get back to green on the session, putting a little bit more pressure on some of these stocks that end up being a little bit choppy today. The 30-year back to basically break even. 10-year as well back to basically flat on the day. Really not a heck of a lot happening as far as yields are concerned, as far as the dollar is concerned. Keeping an eye on this ahead of more inflation data to come later in the week. This one, a lot of people still watching. SGMT, huge mover today, still 140%, holding on to 16 bucks right now. What a morning this had, all the way up to $20 before a bit of a pullback here. We're holding on to 16 and change right now. That's how the overall S&P 500 is turning out. Microsoft lagging as far as big tech is concerned. Adobe downside as well. AMD under pressure, as we saw right out of the gate today. Adobe relatively weak versus the rest of not only the chips, but tech in general across the board, down 3% today. I mean, it had one of the biggest weeks last week, percentage-wise, out of the semiconductor group. So to be expected, a little bit of profit taking. Intel flat, QCOM still positive, but some of the other chip makers, Micron here, 1.5%, NVIDIA obviously nicely higher, Broadcom down there as well in green still. Tesla red, Home Depot red, some of the discretionary names, consumer discretionary names specifically under pressure today up here. So offsetting what would otherwise be, I think, a little bit better of a day than we are currently seeing. 1% for NVIDIA. Daily chart tells the story there for NVIDIA and all of the semiconductors for that matter. But yeah, it's all about all-time highs across the board. S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ again, marching higher. The march higher continues. Just seeing AMD popping up there on a scanner in front of me. Heads up on some of them, still trying to make some moves here late in the day. But yeah, all-time highs. We were talking about this in the morning as far as what is to come later in the week. Yeah, the Russell was on watch. Michael Moss was talking about that as well. But coming up later in the week, we get a first look at GDP, a preliminary look at GDP. We get PCE, so the market might be in a bit of a wait and see kind of approach ahead of Netflix, ahead of Tesla tomorrow and the next day with earnings to come as well. We were discussing a number of things if you're with us in the pre-market. Semiconductors were top of the list again this morning, rightfully so. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll call it 10 of 11 days, guys, to the upside for NVIDIA and most of this group across the board. Although, as we said, AMD, notably weak today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a standout in the other direction. As you mentioned there, Brendan, NVIDIA's up 1% and has recovered from the doldrums of this morning for the chip names, which if you're watching, you guys all saw. If you weren't paying attention, then maybe you're only watching DWAC. But if you saw this morning, it was all downside and stair-step down. Now you're above 600 on NVIDIA and looking like you want a shot to break out the tops. If a chip name's going to go, it feels like it should be this one, but AMD, it's just a different story. I had one long at AMD, but it was a recovery off the bottom. Like the short was in for this name. I'm in Intel off the 48 level, but if there's a chance, I don't know, 168, VWAP starting to hold here on AMD. We've seen some runs before, down 3.5%. It had all that crazy price action on Friday. Like it was just a ridiculous runner on Friday. I'm starting to think this 168 could go. Clearly, you're a little bit stronger and better off with NVIDIA off the 600 level. But if this can hold that 68, the longer it does that, this market gets some wind under it, would look pretty nice. And you're right, Kendall Lopez, what about SMCI? I don't know if look, we probably didn't talk about that one enough. We didn't talk about it a lot on Friday. But this one was ridiculous. There was no bid this morning, and it's even recovering. This feels all the world of just like a pressure relief valve that got released on some of these chip names at the bottom. The volume's not that great on SMCI as it's kind of getting off the bid. I'd prefer to be trading NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, the ones that we're more comfortable with. But if this is your cup of tea, it's holding up 4%. It just felt like there was a lot of profit taking this morning, and it's caught a little bit of a bid here. But I'm not messing around with VWAP on this thing when the spread is going to be 50 cents to $1 at times on SMCI. I'd much rather be looking for AMD to start holding VWAP, which it's trying to do here. It crept above VWAP, Now can it hold above VWAP? It's putting in some higher lows. Give me a higher high and a higher low, and I want to jump in the long again on this one.
What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great time. Good midday show today. Thank you for continuously supporting everything that we're doing around here. Look, we got in and out of AMD, and I just left it alone. I didn't really understand it here today. And when that happens, we stay away. We're not trying to play around. We went up, then we went down, and we dropped that at 168, only to see that it's at 168 right now. So AMD down 3 and a bit. All the money comes out of this name. It's probably going to go back in. So I say you want to buy dips. I just don't know if the dip is here now. I feel like with earnings season right here, right now, probably just rest your head and take it easy and wait to see what happens with a lot of these chip names, right? So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I'm excited to continue to trade, but at the same time, very, very aware that, you know, this might not be the biggest move here today for AMD, and it might actually be a downside move. So let's wait to see what happens with Advanced Micro. Right now, it looks like it wants to maybe fade off 169, but above VWAP here means that we maybe will stay away a little bit from this name as the future is trying to get back going. You know, it's above VWAP, so I got to change my tune a little bit here and start to think more about the short being maybe squashed. Wait for it to get up to 170 before we do anything. So for right now, I'm kind of not super excited about AMD. It seems to be a little difficult to trade. We've made money on Intel. We have Intel? No, we don't. This is at 6 bills, and look at this drop in right now as well. So we focused a lot of our time and effort today on other names, and we're going to get to those in a minute, including $1.20 the money on Tesla right now, and then Affirm was just $4. So yeah, we've kind of left the chip names alone. We did have a good winner on Intel earlier. What was it? It was, yeah, just a long before it broke. So we're nicely up on this name, but then again, it broke the bottom and we got out. So yeah, Intel's still a pretty good one, but definitely a little trippy here so far on the chip names. Difficult between the different names.
We're talking about lentil soup. Sharif has a delivery of lentil soup from Rob.
From Rob.
Apparently very, very good, Rob, so congratulations. I mean, it smells great.
It's a lot healthier than the cake I ate on the weekend, Brendo.
You're still having flashbacks of this cake? You can't stop talking about it. 4,000 calories?
Easy, easy.
Let's talk Boeing here. We've given basically everything back, now red on the day, but nice topping candle on the daily chart anyways, starting to form here. Yeah, they're going to expand the inspections anyways out to the 737-900ER variant of Boeing plane. Specifically with Alaska, it sounds like first, and then see what else they find as they go along. But I did some quick checking, and there are definitely 737-900ER planes in use in Canada, whereas the other MAX 9s are not.
Yeah, probably with WestJet and Air Canada, likely the users there. Yeah, Boeing shares have fallen decidedly this year, guys. 17.5% this morning, maybe more. We'll have to wait and see what the FAA does. You'll recall that actually Boeing had a process where they certified themselves, and then that was taken away by the FAA with another issue that they had earlier last year. And now the FAA is really going to come down, and it looks hard on them here with this Bolts issue, Brendo.
We did get back to positive very briefly on the day for Boeing, but as I said, we're kind of leaking off here again, guys, this afternoon.
Leaking off. Yeah, Boeing.
Good one.
Boeing really did try this morning, much like everything else. I thought this was a big key day for Boeing to be able to battle the 200 period moving average, because that's a really big thing on the charts. Now, obviously. Okay, fine. You know what? It's not over yet. It's at 213. I was about to say, obviously, it's looking like it's going to lose that battle, and you're closing underneath, which to me gets a little bit bearish back into the 200 level, which I think the 200 level is where you've wanted to buy this thing. But it's not over just yet. It's a good recovery. It's actually holding up pretty decently going into this afternoon. Maybe even, let me just zoom back in here so you can see, like maybe even like a 214, if it could break it, would look pretty solid. I don't want to, it's too early to be able to say whether a bottom is going to be in, all that good stuff, yada, yada. But I think the 200 level is where you want to buy the sucker. And a close above 215, I still think would look pretty bullish on this recovery for Boeing. For the afternoon trade, as I said, it would probably need to crack this 214 and change, and then scalp it into the 215. If you want to fade it, go ahead as well. But the 15 level is the key one. I didn't trade it today. There was just so many other fish to fry. For better or for worse, it was just so many other things that provided you with big moves and big opportunities. We'll get to DWAC at the end. But for anyone in the midday, the $1 million seller on Fun at 38.5 moved it down to 38. So I'm short 38.3. They don't actually show the percentages there, but at 38.3, I'm short. But he moved down to 38 on Funware. If it breaks, I've moved my stop from the 38.5 to the 38 even, because I just reloaded some right in front of it. So Funware making power moves. We'll get to that when it comes to DWAC. But I was long most of the lunchtime and then reversed when I saw that big seller.
So again, we do have a podcast, and it's pretty good. We talked about Boeing there and gave a little bit of a trade idea, and that was just to watch out for Boeing down here near $2 and buy the name if you can get down into $200. We haven't got there yet. I mean, I even think you could buy it now, and then buy it against this 177. I still think Boeing works in this environment. They've checked out 40 of those 170 planes and whatever. It's probably more now. And I think it's going to recover just fine. So I like Boeing. I like the risk reward here. I'm not in it yet today, but it's Boeing. And I still like the name to the long side. I'm still long this name myself. We were $4 in the money on this Affirm short. We just should have stuck with the whole damn thing all day. But unfortunately, we kept on getting stopped out. Nice to see that go back in. But look where it stopped at the day's bottom again for the pre-market. So that's going to be a good trade. We're going to have to wait to see on that one. But yeah, I really like Boeing, man. I really like it down here. I think something sub 210, you'll be happy. You can hold that until a 175 break, and you have a hell of a lot of upside. Remember, make sure you do check out the podcast filmed every week and then released on Saturday morning. All right, back over to the desk.
All right, let's go to crypto here. We were discussing the ARC side of things this morning. Long story short, Kathy Wood was selling this one, BITO, which, if you remember, is the futures strategy ETF, and buying her own. Shocking. Down 3% here. There was a huge monster volume spike on this one as well, I guess, when it finally got into that gap officially, or maybe filled the gap there at 1950 for BITO, but another down move for this one today.
Yeah, a little bewildering today, Brendo. Bitcoin down 3%, ETH down over 4%. Yet some of the mining names and Coinbase are all in the green. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's been largely a sell the news event ever since the ETF, the spot ETF, or the spot ETFs were approved for Bitcoin. The other thing we were looking for was for ETH to possibly run up for its own spot ETF, but down 4.25 today, Brendo.
So ARC bought 316,526 units of the ARC-B ETF on Friday, worth about 13 million and change. ARC sold 510,000 of that BITO we were just talking about. So yeah, she's loading up with now a total of 1 million and change of her own ETF.
Well, I mean, is that surprising?
Yeah, I think that's what she should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. You got to go from wherever the holdings were to express it into the ETF, especially if that's your baby. But Bitcoin bounced off 40,000. Let's keep it simple here. We bounced off 40,000, although it's still a little bit trend down since. Let's go to a 1 hour chart. There we go. 1 hour chart. Be able to show you it's still a bit trend down. So as much as you're holding the $40,000 level, you look at any of these ETFs since this came out, like here's an ARC-B holding on to the bottom. The good thing about ARC-B compared to you got BlackRock's and GBTC and all the other good stuff is ARC-B, we're at 40,000, it's at $40. So if you're looking to trade one of these things and not have to worry too much about figuring out like relative prices, this one psychologically is pretty good, but it's not doing the best volume. I tried one shot at Coinbase on the south side, and if I had played the same price later, I don't know if the result would have been any different. We're simply looking at yesterday's close for resistance at 125. I was in, I was out real quick. Thankfully, didn't fight this one, as Coinbase was a rocket ship. It's actually holding this 125 as we speak. And nice skin. I will have a look at ARM for you once we get through the rundown here. But the crypto names weren't front of the mind. You know, if you're looking for runners today, you probably should have been looking at DWAC and anything DWAC related.
Yeah, DWAC has been amazing. Again, we talked about Adobe on some kind of a podcast that we're doing. Down here, at 565.70 for Adobe. Let's see if it can continue to work to the upside. I do like that name there coming through, ADB on there. Okay, so good game, Tesla. Bye-bye. Guys, we tried. We tried. As soon as I saw that we got up to the 200 period there, we tried to get more out. We just took a fill, and then it broke 207.50, and we got out. So GG Tesla, as the kids say. It just broke through 208. Like I said, we did add some in our long term at 209. That might be a little spicy, man. I'm not sure what Tesla wants to do from here, and it doesn't look like it wants to do nice things. So Tesla down in through 200. If you're short, man, great call on being short. Tesla really lagged.
It loves to do bad things.
Yeah, it does love to do bad things. A lot of bad things right now. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Tesla here. But so far, a little dangerous on that name as it's starting to break downside there on Tesla. So watch out. Their report is Thursday.
Yeah.
So we'll watch out for Tesla.
All right, BABA here. I mean, we'll start with BABA, but we can talk about any of these. It's worth noting oil's coming off pretty hard right now. It's still up 2% on the day, but yeah, about 14 minutes or so to go in the pit session over in Chicago. Heavy selling right now in crude oil. Yeah, I mean, all of these kind of look like this. This is Alibaba. Downside huge in the pre-market. It's been a grind back to the upside this morning. So Chinese stocks in the Asian session overnight had their worst day in like 2 years almost.
Oh, yeah.
On further concerns about their economy.
Yeah, and the Chinese EVs haven't been spared either, Brendo. The Chinese minister of, the vice minister, I should say, of Industry and Information Technology basically pledged to crack down on what he called overcapacity and overproduction in the EV space, saying that he doesn't want any superfluous projects to be instituted and really try to enforce this by placing forceful measures on the industry. So we'll have to wait and see. XPEV, Nio, Lee, they're all down decidedly over the past few days.
Yeah, it's been, as I mentioned, a bit of a grind, though, all day back to the upside, guys, after that huge gap down.
Yeah, I mean,
What's Nio doing?
I was that dude on NIO at the $6 level, and it would have been all good. But then Nio likes to do bad things. I like to do hood rat stuff with my friends. And yes, that is a Letarian Milton reference. If you've never seen the Boondocks, just do yourself a favor and at some point check it out. Maybe the funniest cartoon I've ever seen. But NIO, that was my jam. The $6 level looked good. I got out in front of the 6 break in both directions. This Fisker is the same. Oh, we're not really talking about
interrupts.
We're not really talking about EVs. I should have worked in the Fisker at some point. We'll talk about it later. But NIO, the over/under for me is pretty clear. Like at 6, we're shorting it down into 590, and then when it broke out, went into the breakout, then took the dip buy into 6, which is no good. But I should have gone right back to shorting 6 because it came right up to that price, to the penny, and then gave you that short. So sometimes you've got to have a little bit more stick-to-itiveness there in terms of the day trade. But it feels like this is trying to slow down. Like the $7 breakout, you've been kind of grinding slowly into this whatever the bottom ends up being on Nio. I don't know what the all-time low is with this stock. I didn't actually look back far enough. But I think $5 is the next psychological level. At some point, these Chinese EV names will have fallen so far that they just turn into like just shot play bets. Like at what point is that? I don't know where that bottom is, but the first place I would at least think about it is the $5 level. For this afternoon, it's got to be the $6 level here. If I see like a good size on the offer, I'd probably just take 99s or something and short Nio right there, go for the scalp trade over and over again. But that was the one Chinese name that I played, and it was over/under play. It's so weird, this market. I don't know how many charts look exactly like this, where it broke out, and if you looked at that top, it came all the way back. Went from an explosive breakout stock to crumbling all the way back down to the bottom. Tesla did exactly the same thing, because we're not really going to talk about EVs. Like, I had the Tesla long off 212. It went to 216. I'm like, well, Neil got out too early again. Ha, ha, ha. Joke's on me. Next thing I know, I was reloading the 212 not too much later, and then that little tight stop out. And then, like, look at this. We're headed for $200 today. Are we going to get long $200 this afternoon on Tesla? Like, seriously?
The answer is no.
Is Wayne Brady going to have to buy 200 on Tesla? That's what it feels like today.
Oh man, what was that from? Wayne Brady?
That was the Chappelle. Is Wayne Brady?
Yeah.
You know I can't say the line, right? Because no, I'm not saying that.
We'll give it to Sharif. He'll say it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, there goes Tesla, man. Nice downside move. China. Ooh, China. It's funny we have President Trump on our mind today. Now we have China here as well. Alibaba. Nice move to the upside here today. Good. Well done. Taken, boom, Alibaba, nice upside move. So, yeah, let's pay attention with this one and see if we can get some more love in some of these Chinese names, including Alibaba. Watch out for a 67 dip buy opportunity there for BABA.
Oh my God, DWAC at the high of the day again?
No!
You've got to be
I cannot believe.
Oh, I thought we were going back to the desk for a second. I didn't realize.
I think we are, no?
Sure. Yeah. No, we were just going to talk about that very thing right now. I don't even know what to say at this point for DWAC.
Unreal.
I just wanted to show this. You got to go all the way back to this day, which was July of last year, July of 2023. This volume is intense, to say the least, today for DWAC.
Brendo, it's up 142% since the time of this article being written here on the year. Up 142% on the year. It's had its longest winning streak since March 2nd or March 4th, 2022. Up 6 consecutive days, Brendo. Largest percentage increase since November 7th, 2022. It's a good look. And tomorrow is a New Hampshire primary, so maybe more. Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, come on.
Look, I mean, this stock is just, I don't even have it up. You're looking at funware because that's a lot of fun for many people here. No, look, I just want to say there are warrants for DWAC in case it does halt. Wish we were on this one. We talked about punching funware at 28 in the beginning of the day. Didn't do it. That was kind of tongue in cheek, like, hey, if you just want to get long, just get long now. But there it goes, man. It feels like anytime you could get long funware or DWAC, it would have been right today. This just continues to go. Watch out for a 46 break. I mean, there's not much else to say. The short float on DWAC is 7. I was going to say 17. 7%. So it doesn't look like, Neil, that it's a short float situation. But, yeah, there it goes, man. I don't know if President Trump or everybody else is funding their campaign with this kind of a move. But there it goes. Huge move up for DWAC. And I think there's shares involved with all of this. So nice move to the upside as DWAC going pretty nuts here. And it does look like President Trump will represent the Republican Party, so that just puts DWAC in everybody else's mind, right? So, yeah, well, the move actually makes sense to me. That's the important thing.
Well, that's actually the sad thing, is that the move makes sense because I got away from the long and funware. I'll show DWAC first, and then I'll get to it because everyone's probably watching DWAC. Like DWAC, you could have been long anywhere, like the $30 break, whatever. It is what it is. I trade funware instead. But it's back at the high of the day. It seems like it wants a $50 level. These are all a drop in the bucket when you compare it to where it was on the day. I don't know if this will go back far enough. There you go. This is all still a drop in the bucket. Big levels are $55 and 70.
Wow, it's going to hit
70 something. But as it takes out fresh highs or potentially takes out fresh highs, I just reversed on funware. There was a $1 million share order selling on funware. I was long at VWAP off 34 and then adding it at 35, and then I flipped into the short and was still holding it and reloading it when that 38 broke, just as DWAC took out the high. I reversed into the long, so I'm now long funware on that break, which feels like a bit of an overreaction. If DWAC takes out the top, I don't want to be waiting for funware to break 40. I want to be long off the 38 if DWAC takes out this high. But acknowledging that DWAC still needs to get through the high, I do have a stop order in there. I'm not going to hold this all the way to VWAP. That's just too ridiculous. But if DWAC continues to go, I just reversed funware. Absolutely ridiculous price action. So congratulations to anybody on DWAC. In terms of, as we remember how great the longs were in the meme days on DWAC, that's the level. That's why I'm frustrated, I think, because for some reason I just didn't think it would be the same. And it's not that it is the same, but it's pretty darn good if you were just looking for any kind of a long setup. Because plenty of them were there. Like we talk about taking the stairs up when a stock is trending. Well, there's a low, there's a higher low at previous resistance, and then it kind of does the exact same pattern. This breakout at 30 off the 33 also corresponded with a big level on the daily. Anyways, I'll give fun word about 36.5. I probably could have stuck with the short, but the way that things were going, I figured I should take a shot at that long if DWAC could break out the highs.
Dara and I went, battled a bit on Disney, but Disney right now, as she says, the mouse has left the house and is now ripping to the upside. 95.20 right now goes Disney. And we had it once and twice. And again, it's a sticky note nation, so stand the hell up right now. That's a good trade there off sticky note. And I kind of was just looking at it, thinking that, hey, man, there was a chance we could break 94 long. I mean, we wrote down 94 long on the sticky note right here. We will be reviewing more of said note on tonight's market recap show. So again, there it goes. Huge move upside. Couldn't be basically more right about that one, other than the fact that it wasn't the easiest trade because you had to get it early. We were below. Then we took the pre-market bounce, the pre-market break. Then we averaged it back in at, well, we took a lot of it out, but average it back in at the pre-market low again and at the 200 period. So not the most simple trade out there. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. But if you have the 94 long as it was written, then yeah, you do have that. If you do want to grab the sticky note, of course, you can get it right here. PayPal long, we'll look at that. Palantir long, I mean, come on, man, that took off on me. I had no chance. And then the Tesla long 208 area, that was one that we tried. We were up on it until we weren't. And that's never good, as Tesla lost the bid there as well. I want to check back. PayPal's still a positive name for us, although it never got going. It actually went the other way.
But the bounce was at the right spot. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, good call on that one. It bounced at the right spot. So we were able to take that long before losing it, and then it just...
64?
Yeah, man. This is getting kicked a little bit here, is PayPal. So please, guys, just be careful with everything and make sure that you're on the right names at the right time. And there goes PayPal. We actually, again, a shout out to Sharif and Adair and everything for the midday show, and Neil and myself and everybody that trades here, is that you have to have your stop orders in. Like, look at it, save me on PayPal. Like, I'm up on PayPal. I'm up on that name. You know, even though we're wrong on it. AMD, not up on this name, but again, had a drop down there, breaking through 168. So there's going to be opportunities where you're wrong, like more often than not in this game. It's just, you have to make sure that you don't, your one trade, the idea that you have, basically, long story short, isn't the
irony on this
trade.
PayPal. The irony on PayPal right now is that one exit, which was the right exit, ended up being, whether you reverse or not, like right in here at 66, like that was the key price. Dip buy in front of 66. When it broke, look at the retrace. This is what we mean about trading key price levels. If you identify one, it kind of works in both directions. It is so clean when it pops back in. Look at the run from 1040 right into, for a half an hour, there's not a red candle on the 3-minute. It goes right back to 66. And then that is the best you're able to get. These key levels matter just because it's the last thing that we haven't talked about it, but I am in it. To me, it's the same thing as the $1 level in Fisker. Trade in either direction. Lost short, won long, and then when it failed $1, reverse short for good. Trade the key price levels. Sometimes you like the reverse, other times you don't, but at least you're looking at it at the right price and at the right area, then you can be good. Nice skin. Would I hold it tomorrow as a long? Are you talking about ARM? I'm not a huge fan of holding something. We don't hold overnight trades, obviously. But ARM just failed an all-time high in the $80 level. That's a tricky place to want to hold on to it. Let's get onto the desk and take care of some business.
Rundown brought to you by our friends over at Trade Ideas. If you haven't done so yet, go take advantage of 20% off. Bottom right corner, use that QR code. That will get you there. You can take advantage of this. Their Go Low tournament on this week, in fact, a couple of days of practice right now. You can win $2,400 on an Amazon gift card from Trade Ideas.
Yeah, we figured out what the Go Low means finally.
I know. Well,
it's only go long.
Okay, but see, and we didn't really say this.
Why did they ban that?
We didn't say that with Michael Noss here, but like, go low, I understand, LO for long.
Right.
But like, low also is lower. You know what I mean? I know you guys understand that. But anyways, what is not going lower right now is DWAC, which just made a fresh high.
Unbelievable.
Because obviously,
Bitcoin just crashed 40.
Oh, 40,000 just went? Okay, we need.
Where's Fabian? This guy would be upset right up in here.
That's not necessarily good. We broke that 40,000. But
I'm upset
DWAC
too.
higher and Bitcoin lower because that's how things work around here.
I am so lucky. I just checked my account before. I sold out of HUD 8. I have this. I have the Purpose Bitcoin ETF. I sold this at 875, which was really nice. I sold HUD at 12. I was going to say 1386, but I'm just going to say 1286. Wow, that's down to $6. Like, and I didn't,
well, they had the short seller report.
They had the short seller report. But remember, the thing about HUD 8 was when they reverse split, I was peed that I didn't get out right here because my stupid broker didn't have the shares in the account, and then it was just too late. We do the show. If they're not in there by noon, like we don't actively trade our account during the show because we don't. That's just like. There's been investigations to certain people doing stuff like that. We don't do that. Every single trade that you'll see us make is live in front of you here on these names. So that's what we're doing. But look, once it came back in and then went right back up to this area, I was like, huh? Like, I hate reverse splits when stocks reverse split. But then it was just like, nope, we'll go all the way to 19. And I was like, ah. And I wanted to but then all of a sudden, boom, back in right there. So that was like a whoosh, a little bit of a save there. So shout out to HUD 8, another mining company. And then, I don't know, man, I have Michael Noss coming on. Oh, yeah, the market recap show tonight with Mr. Noss. He'll be on, and we'll talk more and more about everything. And the one thing I do want to make sure to mention to him is about Mara as well, because he had some good Mara trades on not too long ago for all of us. So I'm pretty interested.
I'm sure he's covered.
Oh, no, he's covered. Let's find out. But yeah, he was covering, we were talking about this at $10 down here because it was doing the smiley face and it was breaking out. So now it looks ridiculous to be long at 10, but it ramped to 30. So look at this.
Oh, yeah, like the thing is, to still be long is,
well,
I guess you got to have a piece.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing.
I don't want to speak for anybody, but.
The thing about it is like you have to have a time frame.
Yeah.
So if you're swinging this and you get, you're long 12 and you get 25. I thought he said he was out at 25. I'll ask him tonight. But anyways, you get a double up in any kind of a trade. I think you're doing not too bad.
Plus, too, like if you're making a swing trade into it, like there of course was the catalyst of the ETFs going live. So to some extent, if it falls after that, you got.
Why don't we just learn from that? And I think once we hear, the minute Brendan tells me that there are 30 applications filed for ETHE, the Ether. I say ETHE because
go long,
it would be right. It would be exactly. Yeah. I'm just going to go swinging. That might not sound good. I'm going to do stuff there and go long on ETHE. We actually had a story there today that Ethereum was down 4 or 5%. So it looks, okay. So good call there. I remember Adara brought us this story, so shout out to that. Again, nice move back up to $20 there, but then a huge move back in. So there's Ethereum right now dancing. This is not spot. This is the Grayscale product that is still over there with probably a high commission fee, like we always talk about on the Grayscale products. But there it is right there, trying to bounce off 18. Like, you think that you got a discount today. I mean, if it breaks this 19, I'm feeling like 16, 17 maybe is where you want to start picking something up. At some point. But anyways, so far so good here as we will rock and roll on that one. Disney is really kicking everybody's face in, and I like that. So right now, Disney making a move up to 170 now in the money off Sir Sticky Note.
And DWAC might have just wicked the top here. So I just moved the stop a little bit tighter on Funware because that's Blue Ocean. Come on, there we go. DWAC just wicked, failed 48. If it can hold a higher low here, which it's been doing, every single pullback it's held it, I think Fun can try to get to that high. But Funware, which I'm in, just tagged 39 change and then turn around. So I want to make sure I'm getting profit into 40, hold probably half of it for a break of the 40 level. But I got my eyes on DWAC just to see where it goes. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat there, American Truther. You mentioned in the midday Rumble. I like talking about Rumble does cloud services streaming with DWAC, and that's why it's moving as well. It just comes to pick your poison. Like the catalyst is what it is. I think the difference between, you can look at the chart and see the difference between DWAC, for now, Funware, and what's going on here. That's Sunrun. Yuck. There we go. I'm like, that's not what Rumble's chart looks like. Load. There we go. You're down at VWAP, but with the other two, like you're pressing toward the high of the day. I think it's a little tricky trying to play the laggard too much for the long trade. It's one thing when Funware is at least pressing the highs, but this is really not doing the volume that I'm seeing the other two do as it's pressing toward this high of the day. If it was, I think that would be a good relief long in the afternoon, maybe a little bit of a follow trade as DWAC continues. If DWAC gets to $50 and breaks that and goes like 55, 60, I mean, they're all probably good. Let's be real. But DWAC is definitely leading this charge to the upside. Let's go back to Brando.
Get your cybersecurity stocks now. Dropbox, downside here on volume. Forbes reporting a breach of 26 billion data records from DBX, guys. So decent move anyways, downside.
I feel like some of my best trades lately anyways have been Pan W. We talked about CrowdStrike. Neil and I talk about that all the time. DWAC is now at $48. And woo, that's exciting. Wow. You just kind of watch these things. And the problem is, and I'm seeing it on the chat right now, I'm still trading everything, by the way. It's
FOMO.
No. Well, yeah, that's the problem. But the problem is apparently is that none of these brokerages have shares to short. So without shares to short, nobody's standing in the way.
We do, but I'm not.
We do. Do we pay for them or no?
It was super cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, but we had to.
1.5 cents maybe.
I might have to get in there and buy something at least. Even if you take 50 shares.
Oh no, it wasn't. Check
more?
that. It was less than half a cent. It was 0.6 cents a share. That's basically free.
That's what I was going to say.
Like the stock is up $20 from the bottom, and it's costing us less than 1 cent a share. Thankfully, I haven't used it. Because I think I suppose that you could have had some winning shorts in there, but let's be real. The odds would suggest that had I used those locates, I would have lost.
You would have lost.
Yeah, I would have.
No, because even if you win,
you had to time it really perfectly, and I wouldn't have been at 46. I don't know why I would have shorted that price. So
I just feel like you would have shorted some price, got stopped. You might have the top at some point.
You might get lucky.
But it's like how much damage did you have to sort of take?
Until it happens.
Until that does happen. But there is the pullback. Funny we just mentioned what the problem was, and then here comes the pullback in at $48.
Like I just punched out of fun as that pullback was happening. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Yep. So look at both of them together there. We can, I don't know. Did you want to talk about your fun trade?
So here's fun. Here's fun. There we go. So long here, was taking some out when it got to 39, stopped it at 37. Now, obviously, you could hang on to it. But to me, this was a play on DWAC breaking and continuing through those highs.
Yeah.
So when that doesn't happen, just get out of Dodge, move on to the next. I think there still might be some more trades in there if we can get back and start consolidating a little bit. We had VWAP was the way I was trading Funware before, and then got into playing off that side. So if it comes back into VWAP and bounces, I would probably just go back into the old stair-step trade up. But the locates on this were also pretty cheap as well. But I'd much rather, if I had to choose to short one, Funware would be a little bit safer. Probably going to do 1 billion shares worth of volume today, which is absolutely wild. Can we talk about Apple? I want to get to, if we can, low.
Yeah, sure. It was just super strong. It's about all that we talked about.
It's making higher lows. It's above VWAP. It's holding this 194 level. I was short the 195 and didn't. I did 3 times. The third time we took the hit. We scalped it the first 2, and then the third time punched out of it. Then went into a 194 long. That was probably ill-advised, the timing of it. Now I do like this 194 long. You've made a bit more of a defined bottom in the market here. Double bottom, and you have this one as a strong name. So I'm liking this 194 on Apple. Up 1.4% into a flat market. So you've got some relative strength there for this one. I think it is worth a look. There's not much that's looking good in the Mag 7. Let's be real. One of them happens to be Apple, relatively speaking.
Yeah, the DWAC options. We're gonna have Danielle Shay on very, very soon, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to her about some DWAC options, and we will do that. I've already messaged her about that, so hopefully we'll be able to come on, and she's gonna do some prep work for that. Not normally a name that she's looking at, she mentioned, so we'll press her for that as she's coming through at 3 p.m. And although she does have prior engagement, so we'll see if she can make it on time. And if not, it'll be shortly after that. All right, like I'm trying to find some names that are moving around a little bit right now. If there's anything that you guys want. Yeah, and that's very good point. DWAC also has warrants, so shout out to DWAC.U on our system, or if there was here, DWAC. So you type in DWAC here. If you're trading with us, here it is here. If DWAC, no, hold on a second. That seems too expensive for the options. Is this
There's two of them. There's W and U.
Oh, it must be this one. So it might be the W ones. Seem to be a little cheaper. Remember, this up 54%. The U is, doing no volume. So it's going to be DWAC W is what you're going to want with over 2 million there. If DWAC somehow halts, I'm just trying to prepare everybody, and you get caught offside, or you need to possibly hedge something that you have, obviously this will move with the halt, but it should stay open. So watch out for that one. And we do not control the markets. So if they do not stay open, then okay. But we'll wait to see what happens here with DWAC W, as that is the warrant that will be we're looking at if there is a halt in DWAC. So there it is right now. Nice pullback off 48. There's really no point in zooming out or doing anything like that. We haven't been up here in a while. So just looking, we really, really loved the 50-period moving average the whole damn way until we broke it with, some confidence there at $44, and that's when we dropped down 10%. So if the history is any sort of a sign of the future, then if you get a move breaking through here again, let it go, and then I think you can wait probably, so that would be $44 break. You could go back into the 40 range, which would be perfect because that's the 200 period. Then maybe that's where you sit there and start to buy again. So just have a look. And again, not financial advice in your own accounts, but for day trading wise, I don't think you want to hold this thing breaking through 40. So again, we like the psychological level effect here with a stock like DWAC. And at some point, although we are greedy by nature as traders and humans, I think, there is going to be a point where people are going to put in their stop orders. And to me, if I was long, that order right now, if I'm looking at this and I'm just like an inexperienced maybe retail trader, I think that this actually looks pretty good level right here in and around 40.
Yeah.
So trail the 40. So I'm not, you guys do it if you want to, but that to me looks like a decent spot there that a lot of traders may be looking at. So I wouldn't want to hold through there. You could get a flush of retail. Let them flush you out, which you're probably retail anyways, but let it flush out and then work with it from there. So that's my little take there on DWAC. If it breaks that 44, I'd look out for 40 at that point.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. You want to get an idea of those counterparties because people are holding that thing to the long side. And they're gonna start thinking about where to take profit as this goes on. And it doesn't necessarily matter. There was a question in the chat, like why are Elon saying why would traders connect DWAC with Trump's presidency probability?
What?
Ultimately, doesn't matter why, right? Because look, DWAC might never even.
Wait a minute. Why would they or why wouldn't
it's a SPAC. It's not even a deal. Like it just keeps on getting pushed back. There might be nothing. There's no there potentially with DWAC, but we know the correlation.
Right.
It's the possibility. It's the float. It's the short interest. It's the hype. It's that meme mentality. So you just look to the price action and let that be your guide. That's all. Ultimately, it doesn't let talking heads worry about the why. In the moment, you want to worry about the price action. And then we can go over that kind of stuff at other times. Apple, I did just jump into this. I want to see if it can hold that VWAP, that 194. I mean, the market is, I don't want to say it's falling asleep, but we're holding 1744, this nice little bottom on the NASDAQ, trying to put in some higher lows. So the things that are strong, relatively strong, I want to give them a chance. If we do make a break to 17.5, I think Apple is one of the better places to go here. So let's see what happens. And Apple clearly has some signs of strength. Bitcoin does not want to, obviously it failed at 40,000. There hasn't been much of a bounce back. Don't wonder if there isn't a trade on, I don't want to say Mara, but Mara has been pretty weak.
You don't want to say Mara, but Mara?
But Mara, I know.
Coinbase.
Coinbase
kind of holds everything, right? It's like.
But look at the range on Coinbase here in the last. So since 40,000 broke, look at the range on Coinbase, less than. That's relatively tight for Coinbase. I just think Mara might have a little bit more room to go. Could be wrong about that, but it doesn't feel like Coinbase is as exciting down here.
I'm going to speak about exciting. I'm going to ask Randy for coffee. I know you're not down with the reload here. Reload coffee.
Maybe
Randy?
I could eat a 5,000 calorie coffee cake though.
Yeah, man.
That would work.
5,000 calories.
Well,
I feel like that
it's
cake.
bulking season, so I mean, obviously, I got to do my.
Yeah. Sharif needs more to worry about than what he does, I feel like. Okay, so nice move. I mean, I love Sharif, but come on, man. Bulking season? All right, so nice move to the downside right here in the market, just breaking through VWAP now. Let's see what happens. 17,450. Let's see about a little bit of a drop down here for the NASDAQ. Now I'm still on DWAC, but that's not what I'm looking at. I did want to look at Tesla because, oh man, like, are we finally going to see something? So as long as the market, so normally, again, I keep talking about like trying to be changed up here. I really do think that like you need to be very specific with what you're looking at, right? And I mean, you're underneath right now. The problem is the futures are still positive, and I'm not really convinced that the market's a short. And if I'm not convinced the market is one way or the other, then it is kind of hard to dig into something. But Tesla's definitely a short if we can get to the 200 period moving average. It's never seen it until it broke it and didn't even really look at it there at 213. Forget about everything in the first 5 minutes of Tesla. Tesla's insane off the open, and then it finds its sort of its footing, right? Yeah, its legs. So right now, it wants to skate lower. We did well on Tesla. It's, you know, until it broke lower, and what were we supposed to do? We got to get out. We just kept on buying, and again, we never get out of the whole thing because I sit here with rose-colored glasses thinking Tesla can go all the way back up. But it's red on the day. You don't need to trade something that's relatively weak that kind of goes against some of the things that you're thinking. So we're going to wait off on this and see if we can't make a little bit better decisions here with Tesla and try to go short in and around that 208. If the market does want to fall, I was like, let me click on Palantir, but I'm not in it yet today. Look at how far this one, I didn't even know this. So actually, I'm glad that we drew this up right now. I didn't realize Palantir was all the way back down. Still up 5%. Still a nice little trade happening here for PLTR, but it's down now and looking to get maybe even a little bit lower. Let's see about a break now of 1745 for Palantir. I mean, when you start to get under, and the market is doing this, it's like I'm no longer trying to pick up dips. Like I'm rather short rips. And I don't know if we're going to rip it at all. So we have to think about trying to be a little conservative. Like if Palantir can get up to 1765, we'll short that against the 1770 area, which is right here. That could be a trade that looks pretty good moving forward. And then I'm just looking at some scanners. Again, shout out to Trade Ideas. Like if there's anything at VWAP, that's possibly something here. Like right now it's saying that Netflix is coming in, NFLX. So let's just have a quick look at that one. As it's coming back, it's up on the day, almost 1%. See, here it comes, coming back into VWAP, and that one actually has a nice hold right there. So this actually, surprisingly enough, could be something here on DWAC, on Netflix down here at 486.
I just threw in the chat that I thought Fisker might be making a bit of a bottom. I'll tell you why. Like I didn't mean that in the sense of Fisker making a bottom on like the daily chart or anything. It's just, if you look at last week, this is the 86 level. Actually on Friday, it was 86 was the top, and then it was kind of a key price. And if it makes a bottom at a price like that, when you have this many down days in a row, it just try to do that whole dollar thing. I just feel like that's an obvious place. If it makes a turn there, that might be the temporary low of the day. And you can see a stock like this, relief rally, maybe back into like 92 or 94, which is a decent chop here. So I'm starting to get out more. I'm probably going to be all flat if it retakes the low of the day. I might even think about going into a long, but the market is continuing to churn to said downside. I should have just jumped in tomorrow. It is what it is. But I'm trying to be patient with this, as it's starting to come back to the upside. Nice little bounce. Maybe the 16 level if it can turn. The other thing I'm looking at for a fade right now is Rivian starting to make a bit of a pop. The $16 level was. I was going long on all the bounces off of 16 and eventually gave it up when it failed this 1590 for good. So it was actually pretty solid in terms of finding the bounces. Now I'm thinking that 16 turns into resistance for me there on Rivian. So we just got into, we talked about Apple there trying to hold VWAP, but Rivian underneath 16, I like the short. And AMD suddenly looks kind of strong, real-ish. Strong-ish. I mean, that's not that strong. It's down 3%, but it is holding above VWAP. We saw what happened on Friday, well, the last couple of days. Like this in the afternoon.
That's
like
what I was going to say.
Really, like the last couple, going into the, even on the weekday on Thursday, Like, look at the rally into the afternoon. And today, like, you're holding VWAP in here. I could see it going. The futures aren't doing a heck of a lot, but AMD has always had a pretty solid run in it each afternoon. Definitely doesn't go sideways in the afternoon. And right now, it feels like if it's above VWAP, I'd be looking at the long. Isan saying look at Zim. We haven't looked at these shipping names. We didn't even look at them last week, I don't think, too much. We know the Red Sea, obviously, that hasn't really resolved itself. Hey, that's not that bad. But look at this nonsense between 13 and 15. What a ridiculous-looking daily chart. That's what happens when you got a big short float and all that good stuff. The 15-minute 1350 looks pretty good. If it can start buying above the high of the day and breaking out from there, I think it's got some juice. The volume's not that great.
All right.
It picks up volume and breaks 1350. I think you might have something there, but I'm not really seeing anything imminently.
So I don't know if anybody followed the rules there. I don't know what kind of price you would have got or anything, but we did break the 50-period rate there. And if you did get out of that, you got out at 44.75, probably the spread, I don't know, 40.50s, and it went down to 43.30. So it only went down $1 right there on that break, and then held. And then all the time, man, like look at that wick bottom right there. This is just a 1-minute chart, so those of you ask, we always get questions about what time frame we're using. My computer's still flickering, and my computer like barely operates. Like, this is ridiculous. But anyways, right there, that's a nice little wick bottom. That's a nice little wick bottom, and it created some upside moves. We did have one there, but that didn't. I guess it got going about $1 or so. Not too much else. So it just looks like a couple of maybe exhaustion levels there, and like. The reason why we talked about that, well, we didn't even talk about the candle, but that's why we're looking at 48. It's pretty much, I'm going to say probably forget about, yeah, no, it is. I was going to say the biggest move was probably off the open, but look at this candle. That's the largest buy volume right there when we took out 48 or tried to take out 48. So, obviously it's going to be a buy candle because of the action of the stock leading up to that, but someone stopped that move from happening at 48. So whether or not that was a big order or what was going on exactly there, I'm not sure. But that's a big order that was stopped at 48, and it was the largest buy candle of the day at the high of the day. That's generally a sign that things could turn around a little bit here. So watch out for that potential to come in there as a turnaround. I feel like is imminent here for DWAC as we just touched that. So now you're going to want to use 43.40 as your bottom, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going long now, 44, and then using that extreme volume candle right there. Well, here it comes. It's not. I guess it didn't have extreme volume, but that wick down as being your out. So long-ish now, and then just use 43.50 as your out. But that's coming in. Like that 43.50 is coming in. So be very, very careful with that one. And then you just said PayPal?
PayPal, another fresh low for PayPal.
Okay.
This thing is just
I see FFTB in the chat.
It just keeps going. It was FFTB that I saw bye-bye PayPal, and my first thought was, oh my goodness, this is breaking the lows again. This is just all trend down.
Disney.
This is exactly the kind of trend. If the market's not moving and this is going, it's like join it 63. There's room to 63 at least, if not 62 quarter, let's just say, because you have the close from Thursday, and then you have the opening range bottom down there. That does give you some range to play with in here. It's just ridiculous, because the reversal on this might have been entirely too obvious, but I probably spent a lot of time looking at too much DWAC. So the flat bottom break was just at 63.5. If it can, there's a volume candle. Usually you'll pop back up here and retest the break price because it was support. If it curls at that price, I'd look to roll into the short. Probably not going to get this Rivian 16 that I'm waiting around for. Apple doesn't seem to want to hold VWAP anymore. So that 194 looks like it's going to get taken out on Apple. And the short, you got to have something to the short side because there's so much that's trending down in this market. I know I'm in Fisker, but that's from this morning. I want something new.
Yeah. This. All right, so Alibaba's at the high of the day. That's $1 in the money, so that's $1. That's $1 trade club there. And then Disney right now is multiples in the money. Disney is almost unos dos right now in the money. I'm just letting them go, man. I mean, this is another sticky note name that's long at $94. We're lucky enough to get it lower than that. So we will review the sticky note every day on the recap show. And today we'll have Michael Noss on board for that, so that should be fun. He mentioned in our pre-show there that he had some ideas that he wanted to go through. So yeah, we'll see what he has coming.
As he tends
to do, yeah, he tends to have some ideas, that's for sure. So shout out to you, Michael Noss, and welcome to the danger side of trading. Michael Noss makes
a perfect opportunity there.
What was it?
Welcome to the danger
zone. Yeah, I got that. But you know, he doesn't. So what I was getting at there is doesn't really trade. He tells us all the time, won't really trade intraday, but looks at opening candles, closing candles, weekly candles, things like that to get some ideas. So that's exactly the kind of questions I'm going to be asking him. What has he seen to start the week? Is there anything that's maybe opening up a little bit for him, and so on and so forth? So we'll talk to Michael about that. For me, I don't know what sparked Disney. Holla!
Randy in the red.
Yo, dude, Tesla's down to $2
again.
Hands up in the air. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Like it is definitely one of those days. You know what just looks pretty good? Well, the coffee. It's that. There's something about that first sip of a good cup of Joe. I'm just saying. Or the smell of like when you just.
The thing is like I filled this up, but it's like it only goes to like it's not doesn't even fill up. You can sort of see the line there, and then it gets freezing cold because I've yet to figure out this Obi thing here.
Who drinks coffee out of a transparent glass?
Pimps do.
All right, fair enough. So, I don't know what you heard
about me. But you know,
you can't get a dollar.
Well, the market can get many dollars out of me.
Well, that's the thing. The market
and
AMD still looking relatively strong, by the way. It doesn't want VWAP. I'd like it to dip to VWAP because that would be a nice entry point. But maybe, just maybe, this wants to just go and break 169 even. Let there be size on 169. The stock has rallied every day in the afternoon for the last little bit. Maybe you can do it again. But it's got to go. Like this 20 cent or 20, 30 cent range that it's in right now is not going to cut it. It's got to break out of this, and then we can do something with it here. On AM, Dizzle, Rivian, you still don't want to go up. I'd like to short the pop on Rivian. Rivian doesn't seem to want to pop at all. I feel like it's up 2% still, so if we were to have a move down, there's still some room to go, kind of like PayPal still has some room to go. It doesn't even want to give you a pop to be able to go short. And DWAC still holding 45. Come on, break that high again. I'd just like to see DWAC make a run at 50. I think you can probably grab a good scalp trade, whether it's back through 38 or the 40 break on Funware, if DWAC can go.
I really feel like I want to put something on AMD because, like,
it's strong, man.
Yeah, just there's so much movement all the time, and then like right now, it's kind of like, it just wants to like hover out up here, and maybe this 169 is a fade. The reason why I get excited about these kind of things is like, you know, we have the strategy already. That's again, to give this name 10 cents is not right. So I don't really know on that one. And the reason why I say something like that is like,
but to give Micron 10 cents.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that it's like this name on 10 cents, probably not super accurate there to do that, just because of where we are with it, right? It's like it's going to move 10 cents. So that's kind of my sort of thing there about AMD. But you can give it to 169 if you really do like it. You were talking about Micron? Is that?
Well, Micron.
They report first,
oh, this
don't
is
they?
Strong though. I'll have to double check that. I don't remember exactly when. Intel's this week.
Right.
It's Intel's first. Micron. Oh, that's weird. I don't actually see an earnings date for Micron on Trade Ideas, so I'll have to check a second source. So I don't really. It's interesting. Usually we have the.
Yeah, I was wondering about Micron. Let us know when Micron. So we're into Power Hour in just about 1 minute. So we'll figure out what's going on. I was actually looking the other way on AMD.
Micron's strong.
Yeah. Okay. Micron's strong. Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about breaking this 169 because now we can use VWAP and so on and so forth as some trigger spots there. So like if we got out at VWAP, that would be 168. So we have to acknowledge that there could be some turbulence ahead if we do take a break there, because to hold it all the way back down $1, you sort of got to say, and I'm guilty of this, looking at the net and not trying to lose more or give back what you've already made in the last hour. And we've done that a little bit over the last couple of days, trying to find things to trade at the end of the day. So I feel like we want to be as specific as we can here with 169 coming through on AMD. So maybe let's just watch it and see if maybe there is something here to worry us about this trade on AMD.
Yeah, there's, you know what?
I'm just gonna wait.
I couldn't find a date. I saw in the chat there Roger putting in Micron the 27th of March.
What?
That doesn't. That's
Adara is on
too
it.
far out. But I went to NASDAQ and couldn't find it as well. So Adara is going to be on it. I just like. I'm not. I hate when we can't get it right for everybody. I just, you know, we were talking about it, and then I get a little bit picky with stuff like that. Like, I just want to know for you guys. Not that it doesn't necessarily matter to the trade at all. But Micron, this chart notwithstanding, because it's missing some data, Micron super strong, relatively strong, up 1.7% today. I was shorted, good short early, mixed result later.
What?
And
did you see ADM today?
what?
Archer Daniel, Midland?
What about
That was one of Arthur's huge plays.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
I remember
shoot.
that.
I hope Arthur's okay. ADM. There was probably earnings, but it's down 23%, and this name does not move that much. Maybe we can find out about that. But we do have a quick little hit here from Brendo.
I was just going to mention, guys, they just reported. Micron just reported in December, so it is actually March 26th. So yeah, they're going to be a while.
I was gonna say, I was like, they always report first, so I was like, either they did or it's like today or tomorrow or something. So yeah, good look there. Thank you, Brendo and Adara. But yeah, Archer, could you find out maybe about ADM there, Brendo? I'll have to look. They must have reported. Oh, I can just check it out my damn self. Okay, just real quickly here, ADM. Brendan's getting ready. He's gonna have January 25th.
This week. They must have had something.
Okay, what's up, Brendo?
Apparently a probe into their quote-unquote nutrition unit announced for ADM.
Probes into anything, probably not great, but that one not good either. Down to $52 there for ADM. Watch out now.
The pandemic, that's a ways away. Never mind, the pandemic bottom's like 30 on that sucker. So the big level, I'm just looking at a weekly chart for ADM. $50 is probably the closest big bounce spot. Even then, I don't think it's clean to 50 at all. But then after that, it's like 30. You always look for these little bounce zones and where they might be. Should have just jumped into Rivian where it lied. Mar is now at the $16 level. Okay, so Mar just got back up to 16. Now Bitcoin's actually trending back into the upside. Don't want to mess with that one. Not at that price. What do we got going on with Rivian? Didn't really get into Rivian. It's not going. And then the other name we're looking for the short the pop situation on, which we're obviously not getting at this point, is PayPal. Because PayPal just continues to slowly slide down. I was just trying to pick something up at the 50s. It just continues to drop. Apple looks like it's going to give it up. I'm giving it 10 cents underneath that 94. If it can't hold that, we'll give about 25, 27 cents there. I wanted a short, did not get picked up on PayPal. Rivian never gave you a move. Well, DWAC's about to break the high of the day again, so there's always that.
Ooh.
I can't believe that's actually true. I might move down a little bit on PayPal, just try to get picked up on the next bounce.
My own quote as a scared trader is a flawed one, and a confident one is what you want to be. We gave you the trade for DWAC and didn't take it ourselves because, quite honestly, I was like, this is like not for weak at hearted, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to have this trade as working on some other things. But there was exactly what we talked about. Remember, I was like, go long here off that wick. So there's 44.50, there's 43.50. That's $1 worth of risk. Now you're in the money for. I don't even know if that's enough for DWAC. So. You know, that's how you structure trades. It's like, I don't know where this stock is going, but I do know about this. So if you're going to try to go long, then you can kind of wait for an exhaustion candle, or just like this. Look, there's the exhaustion short. So if you're going to go short now short's a little bit of a different story because you get squeezed out of this trade.
And you need locates.
And you need locates, which apparently many don't. But the thing is like, if you're going to go short now at 47.50, you use 48.50 right there as your high. And you're out. So that's giving you $1 worth of risk. So if you're going to go 2-to-1 on all the trades, just bid now 45.50, whatever the math is, and then get that 2-to-1 right there if that's what you're looking for, right? So I would say on this stock, and again, you guys are trading, I don't have any fills on this today, just put your bids and offers out because like you never know when you're going to get filled, as we always talk about that here on the show, and just to try to be as specific as we can with our ins and with our outs, and then understand that there is something very nice called slippage that can happen, especially on a stock like this. Like not right now, but as you can see, this is the 100 lots, right? So the full board lots are right now at 61 and 87. So if you have 100 shares or more, those are the levels. You can wipe it out. Like, you know, you'll go down 70, 69, 68. But if you have a decent amount of shares, probably the spread right now is about 20 cents. So whatever you think you're getting, kind of calculate back 20 cents for that. So that's about, or 30 maybe, now it's 30 now. Give yourself a chance to win at all times. So, all right, that's what we're doing now, is looking there. We're gonna wait for Danielle to come through. Like we said, sometimes can be a little bit delayed on that. So we'll wait for her. Yo, what's up, Ian David? Shout out to you, man. You took a fire scalp. Well, bang, let me know what it's all about. But congratulations, Mr. Ian David in the chat there, took a fire scalp. I hope you mean on DWAC, because that was a really nice trade. Still waiting for 208.50 for Tesla. If that comes in as we go to Danielle, then we will have that for you. I'm still holding on to Alibaba. Was waiting for 69er to come through there. It didn't. We'll wait to see if that one can come in. You know, a trade that I got out of my shares, I did have some DraftKings shares, and we did talk about that. But again, great trade, man. So I would expect someone to come in and downgrade DraftKings. So I don't know if that happened on Friday or what.
Remember there's the IPO next week of Flutter.
Oh, yeah, that started sparking it. That's FanDuel. Okay, so Neil just said that there's Flutter next week. So yeah, that's a good point right there.
Well, it's supposed to be next weekend.
But anyways, whenever you get to these kind of levels on higher float short names, I feel like sometimes you get a downgrade because they don't want it to break 40, and then it's gone. So I feel like, you know, a little tin hat stuff going on here, in my opinion anyways, with some of these names. When they get up to these levels, you get downgrades because they don't want it to break that level of 40 bucks, those that are short. And, you know, you'll just, again, just test it out. Test the theory out. This is just a theory. I'm not sure if it's true. But watch the next time someone downgrades a stock that looks like this, and then go out and find out what their position is if you can, and it would probably be short. So we'll have to wait for that for DraftKings. But I do like that trade if we can get back up to $38 on a DKNG short possibility. So that's another name there. I mean, FanDuel is pretty popular.
Just to clarify, because I don't want you guys thinking it's a traditional IPO for Flutter. Flutter trades its primary market in London, and it's also, you can trade on the OTC here as well. So it's not like, it's a US listing, I suppose, is the best way to think about it. They're doing a US listing of Flutter, which is FanDuel. That'll be next week. You know there's going to be some movement on DraftKings because of that. So I'd respect that. Well, I just got into Nio at 95, so I must be headed back into VWAP. I don't know what AMD, there's no way it's going to hold this range forever. You can't. You got to go. Like, either just do something. Either break down a VWAP or break out this 169. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous. It doesn't seem to want to move. Usually, you don't get a ton of movement in Nio, but I want to be looking at that short underneath the $6 level. So I'm back into this. We had this morning, but I'll give it into VWAP. I don't know if we get PayPal coming back in. Wow, DWAC just keeps, every time I look up, it's like DWAC is right back at the high. So I'm looking to get the pop in a PayPal to try and short that. Not really looking at Coinbase at all. For Profit saying Macy's is making the watch list. They rejected that. I mean, they rejected that deal, and I guess they were moving a little bit this morning. Yeah, Macy's is going sideways here. Good double bottom on this, and it was a nice little gap up after they rejected the deal. Not much of a trade here for Macy's. I suppose if it was down at 18 bucks, you try scalping it, but not really seeing too much there. Good luck. It definitely gave you opportunities today, like just about everything at 9:30 that should have been on your list that was gapping. Like anything that was on, there was not a single stock that to me was on my list of things to watch at 9:30 that did not have some kind of ridiculous move in the first 5 minutes. Pretty much everything did. So we're into Nio. AMD, I still think, has got to make a move. Maybe it is just a scalp to short. It's ridiculous, but I'm like yourself. Like, why would you sit in here? I just feel like if you short it here for 10 to 15 cents worth of risk, it's probably just going to wick you out. Like, I'd rather something which is setting up a little bit better. The breakout to the long side, I don't mind, because the breakout should work right away or not. So I don't mind risking 15 cents on a breakout. but I'd rather not just be sitting in this short. Okay, you know what time it is. It's past 3 o'clock. Let's learn a little bit about some options with Danielle Shay.
Yeah, first of the, wait for it, there we go. First of the big weeks for tech names. We're finally back into earnings season. Ms. Shay, your most exciting time of the year, or one of four, the first of four for 2024. Anyways, let's talk about what is to come this week, because we get into right away some of the biggest of the big. We'll start with Netflix, I guess, because just chronologically it's first, but I know you want to talk about Tesla, so let's talk Netflix here. Already a pretty wild year, really, for this thing.
So when you look at Netflix, I mean, Netflix has a major impact on the rest of tech, right? And so, I mean, ultimately what I want to see from Netflix is I want to see a positive result. Obviously, market doesn't care what I want, right? But I think that looking at the past history, we do have a shot of that, because if you're looking at the way that Netflix reacted to earnings last quarter, you can see that Netflix gapped up 16%. And Netflix has been in this really nice, solid trend. We're consolidating going into this earnings report. And we have a nice key psychological value and target up at 500 and then up again at 520. So what I would like to see is some bullish continuation with this. I don't generally make an aggressive bullish trade before the report because, as you know, like, it can go either way, right? But I will look for a big momentum move post report, and I'm betting on this one being up into 500, 520 after that report.
All right, so we talked about it last week when you were here, but let's discuss Tesla here going into what is going to be an important report for them right across the board, whether it be delays, whether it be price cuts, whether it be margins. A lot of people are going to be looking at a lot of different numbers. What are you seeing as far as price action is concerned for Tesla?
So when you look at Tesla, I mean, this one has been a swing short for me. I've been targeting $200 a share. You can see that we're pretty close to that price target at this point. And you can see that there's also a low from this quarter, which was right around that value, about 195. So I'm targeting 200, 195 to the downside on this swing short. But here's the thing, Brendan. I think because it's already gotten creamed so much throughout, really over the course of the last 3 weeks, I would say, I think that there's a chance that Tesla can hold there and then we can start buying. I know everybody's been waiting for a moment to buy Tesla. I'd say 195 to 200. If that holds on earnings, if the news isn't as bad as we're expecting, I think we're going to be able to buy it. But below 195, it's going to be dead to me, because look at this. If it breaks 195, I mean, you don't have support until down in here until 165, 175. So it has to hold that level.
Let's talk both sides of the equation here. A lot of people, I mean, might be looking downside just given the price action, but give us a positive view here as well. If they do come out with a surprise across the board better than expected, what are you looking at to the upside?
So, you know, I think that we have a shot of that, especially because it's sold off so hard going into earnings. And I know that it sounds weird to say, hey, I've been shorting it, but I think we're going to be able to buy it soon. But I mean, that's just what happens when you've already seen the price action fall so far. So, you know, if we get a buy after earnings, we get a little bit of a surprise. The first target is always going to be the 8 EMA on the daily chart, which is going to come in around 220. If and only if it can break through that value, then your next target zone is going to be up in here at 230, which would be the 200 simple on the daily chart. So I basically just take it one decision to the next as it reverts back up into those moving averages. And then once you get into a key area of resistance, that's where you have to watch the price action and see, you know, is there high volume? Are we continuing to see buyers? Is the chart still stair-stepping higher on a lower time frame? Is it going out on high volume at the end of the day? If those things are true, then I keep holding it. If you start to see a wick up at the top of the candle and it's rolling over, then obviously that's where it hits support or hits resistance and fails.
All right, we've been discussing these semiconductors for the past few, let's be honest, months, but it's going to be Intel that kicks things off going into this week as well. Not necessarily the one that's been leading outside of AMD and NVIDIA, but give us your thought here for Intel.
So the reason why I'm looking at Intel is because, I mean, you're right. It's not one of the ones that have been leading. But when you look at it, I think there's opportunity because we've been recovering. And so when you look at things, like NVIDIA and AMD, I mean, they're to the point where they're getting pretty extended. It's like, how much further can it go, right? And so if you shift over and look at some of these others that have more room to run, especially if you want to buy some long-term stocks, Intel's been in a really nice trend ever since it hit these lows down here. Really, see, 25, 24, 25. You have a nice cup and handle pattern here. It's a little bit sloppy, but I'll take it. And then we have a price target up here at about 53.55. So I think going into earnings, it looks really good. The way that it gapped up after earnings last quarter, I think that this one has a decent shot of continued recovery. And so that's why I like to look at it as something where, I can sell puts on it. I can sell put credit spreads on it. I can buy some bullish butterflies after the earnings report, anything like that to trade the continuation higher.
And maybe an important report in the sense that it might set the table for what is to come from some of the other big tech names. I wanted to ask you as well about TSMC, going back to last week, because I know you were interested and involved in that one. Definitely a surprise when it comes to TSMC, better than expected.
Well, and I think that this is a picture perfect example, right? You have something that's been really negatively hit on in the news because of the potential issues between China and the US, and everybody's worried, what's going to happen with Taiwan. And so you've seen it just not trading very well, right? But then you have the earnings report comes out and it's a big surprise. So crossing fingers, that's what we can get with Tesla. With Taiwan Semi, this is a long-term stock holding of mine. I haven't really been trading it because, as you mentioned, it's been kind of lackluster, right? But what I think is the most important here is the way that it impacts the other semis. We've seen SMH just skyrocketing higher, NVIDIA's been skyrocketing higher, Apple was able to hold 180. So when you start to see companies like this reporting well in the beginning of the earnings season, it can have a huge impact. So that's why Netflix and Tesla are going to be absolutely critical for what's going to happen with the Magnificent Seven stocks.
All right, you had a couple of payment names on your list for this week as well. Visa coming up in a few days here, but Visa and AXP, what are you thinking?
So when you look at these, they're not, the most exciting stocks to trade, like as a day trader, right? They're kind of slow and steady. But the thing is I like to point these out because when I first started trading, these were the tickers that I would trade because you know what? They don't move like a Tesla, right? And so if you're looking for something as a trader where you say, you know what? I'm newer into the game. I don't want something that's going to go so crazy on me. What can I trade? Well, you have Visa. Visa is in this nice little perfect trend, just continuing to trade higher. And then if you look at American Express, same thing here. You've got a very nice, easy, bullish trend. It's not something that's typically going to be up like 7% in a day. So for things like this, I do like to just follow along with the trend. You can sell put credit spreads. That was actually the first strategy that I used to use when I got into options trading. Just regularly sold put credit spreads on things like American Express and Visa. So I wanted to point that out. And then I'd also pay attention to these earnings reports because, you have a situation right now with high inflation. You have people using credit cards. Everybody's getting squeezed, right? So these companies are doing well. So we can take advantage of that by investing in them and trading them in the stock market.
All right, a lot to look at this week, and we've been given another one. Sean has a question for you, Ms. Shay. We're going to jump over to him right now.
In a second.
Wait for it.
Bear with us.
Wait for it.
Bear with us. Here we go. Hey, Miss Danielle Shay, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I have to be careful about saying congratulations to Kansas City Chiefs because my paisan over here is a Buffalo Bills fan. But I tried telling everybody, you mess with Taylor, you get the horns. And honestly, kind of expected there. But did you have a chance to watch the game?
I did watch the game, and I'm looking forward to watching it this weekend coming up here.
Should be a fantastic one. All right, you're going to join me on Thursday, I hope, in the market recap show. And with Tesla coming out on Wednesday, that should be a lot of fun. But I have to ask you about DWAC because honestly, this has been absolutely insane. I feel like we kind of knew that this would happen with all this stuff with former President Trump. But what are we supposed to do about DWAC? I mean, maybe it's better to trade the commons, but the thing is that there's not too much short float out there. So I'm thinking about the puts. Have you had a chance to look at it? And maybe we can discuss this a little bit. What's your thoughts on DWAC approaching $48 and up a paltry 77%?
It's crazy, right? So Let me tell you, back when Trump was president and this stock, was a thing, what I used to do with it is I used to just sell the naked puts on it. Now, I normally never, ever tell people to do that because it carries risk and you can get assigned the stock. And, it's one of those things where if you're selling a naked put, you're not covered. But with this stock, it's a low price stock. And the reason why I say that is because the implied volatility is huge. If you look at an options chain on DWAC, the implied volatility this week is 359%. So
wow.
that's crazy. And so what that means is if you're buying options here and it doesn't completely skyrocket, I mean, now it's, pretty late to buy them. If you already had them, good job. But buying them now, they're just really expensive. So what I used to do with this stock all the time is I would just sell the naked puts because they're incredibly expensive. You can sell a $40 put for $4. You can sell the $45 one for $6.90. You collect that premium, and if the stock does pull back and it goes underneath that strike price and you get assigned the stock, then you can shift to selling covered calls, or you can keep the stock. But with this one, selling puts makes the most sense. But I mean, it is already up 76%, so you gotta very aggressive.
It just reminds me of when we talk about earnings plays, and you're like, maybe don't grab the options in the week of earnings. You got to grab them a little bit before so you can do that research. So I just wanted to throw that out there about Digital World Acquisition Corp. All right. Any other quick little names that you're looking at here before I let you go? I know we're going a little bit over time. Brendan talked about some ideas. Is there anything that specifically you're looking at maybe heading into this week?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I've been trading Microsoft. Microsoft hit my $400 price target. So at this point, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know that we can keep trading it. We might be able to trade it to 410, but I think 400 was a pretty aggressive price target there. The other two that I've been really watching, especially if Netflix and Tesla do well, are going to be Amazon and Google. If we can get Amazon to break up above 155, I think we can trade it up into 160. And with Google, I've been targeting 150 on this one. If you look at it, I mean, you can see that it's pretty close to that previous all-time high. And so when you get that close, it tends to be a magnet. So I think we can target that previous all-time high in Google and continue trading Amazon and probably Meta as well.
There's a reason why you're the best, and it's Miss Danielle Shay. Everyone can find you at Simpler Trading, and I will see you on Thursday. Rest until then, and we'll kill it Thursday evening. Thank you, Miss Danielle Shay.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
It was very gracious of Danielle not to rub it in there.
Yeah.
The best thing, and this is on the afternoon show when I was doing the market recap in your stead, I was asked who my favorite guests were.
Yeah.
And first of all, like I said, I love all the guests that we have on the show. To sit there and say, oh, I got to pick one over the other, but the answer I gave ended up being Danielle and Frank because they have an expertise which I don't know a lot about. So therefore, when they're speaking, it's a different type of lesson. It's a different lesson when I'm listening to Michael Noss, who's speaking all the same language that we know pretty well, as opposed to Danielle there. But
I forgot to say shout out to Luke there for Miss Danielle Shay.
I think she probably
sometimes she sticks around in our chat. So if you see her there, and that's another reason why she's one of my favorites. Is she's definitely a big supporter of Trader TV Live. Thank you, Miss Shay, for that one. Go check her out. She's all over the place, so. Miss Popular.
Simpler Trading.
Right there. Oh, yeah. Go find out Simpler Trading.
By the way, like not NVIDIA, AMD broke that 169. We'll go to Brendan in a quick second. AMD broke the 169. I was in and out on the break trade, 169 to 169.30, and then stopped out back underneath 169 on AMD, and now into Rivian short off 16 even. Brendo?
All right, whatever. We'll do it now. The segment, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Simpler Trading and Miss Shay herself. If you haven't done so yet, want Danielle's 3 favorite option strategies for tackling any market condition? Get her most popular tools with her trading bundle today at $47. Why not, guys?
Yeah, why not? That's actually very reasonable.
Exactly.
Grab it. I mean, options.
I mean, at the end,
you have options.
You have lots of options.
No, but big shout out to Danielle. I'm glad to see her doing that kind of stuff.
I love that.
I just, I just feel that, especially with options, it's just so explosive. There's so many different options that you can play. I think the 3 best ones would be great to grab from this.
Narrow things down a little bit. You know,
That's it.
Start with like the basic types of ideas.
Kind of like if we ever sold something, we would do like flat bottom break. Do we have that, for example, as a very, very key strategy that we may be using?
You know what? Speaking of flat, like there's a reason we say and have that graphic. Well, I don't know. Like how's the Nio flat bottom break working for you at $7? I'd say that's pretty good. How's the XPeng flat bottom break working for you? Either at 13 was the big one.
Wow, that one.
12. The thing about this, like 13, there's 13. There's the 12 level, which was this breakout to the top. Both of those, I mean, not too bad at all. There's a reason we talk about these basic setups and then look for trends underneath. Lucid did something similar as well.
Why do we both throw our voice like that?
I don't know.
Like, we're looking at this. It's kind of like we're talking with our kids. It's like, I don't think you should eat that.
Okay, so the funny thing about it is, that's why.
I know, that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I didn't realize I do that much, and if it annoys you guys.
Well, now, see, I shouldn't have said anything.
No,
because
but
now you're gonna be...
but I speak like that to my daughter all the time. It's just, I guess it becomes like a force of habit. Oh my goodness, wow, they really do say you become your parents. Oh my goodness. Well, see,
yeah.
that's the kind of thing I didn't want to realize.
I hope you don't
doing
become
it
my
now.
parents. Let's put it that
What's
way.
wrong? I love George.
Dad life. Yeah, Bears
I
versus
love-
Bulls.
come
No, but the thing is, I think...
We've known each other a long time, so I mean, George.
Oh, no, I don't mean don't become my... I just mean like...
What's wrong with
become
George?
your parents, man.
Well,
become my
obviously,
parents. Yeah.
still though. Now that's in my head.
Exactly. See, now I should not have said that. What's up, D. Westermeyer? He's in the chat.
think it's-
Okay, so let's just keep on going here. Why not?
Oh, now AMD's right back up.
Were you short AMD?
No, I took the breakout long. It looked like it was gonna go. It took like 10 minutes for it to go 30 cents. And then it just stopped everybody out there. Well, not everybody, just stopped me out. And then right back to the upside. Should just jump back into the long off that 169. I give it some room. AMD has been a bit of a rocket ship in these afternoons. Like there's Friday, there's Thursday, there's Wednesday. So if it does that again today, like why can't it go $1? But that was a very slow move on that breakout. I'm going to take a shot at it again here.
All right, so I was a little bit silly there. Shout out to everybody in the chat there. If there is anything you want me to look at, I mean, I'm here for you. I'll do it. We both will. So just put it in the chat, and hopefully we can get to your questions and comments and concerns. All right, so I should have. So the reason why I didn't really dance here with our, used to be a friend of mine here, Affirm. It was too choppy at the 50-period moving average, and then I said to myself, you want to get out if we break the 200 period, and then we have a small piece left, not the end of the world, but we didn't put the order out. So right there, I feel like I'm gonna see now it's 20 cents away. So we did miss that. Is HUD 8 dead? Yes. I'll get to that in a minute. I didn't even read that seller report. I just whenever a company reverse splits, I don't I like it for the pump after that. And I'll get to HUD 8 in a minute. Who asked me that? What's up, Steve G? What's up, Zion? Okay, so yeah. I feel like back into here is where I'm going to put my bid now for Affirm. It kind of sucks because we did have $4 in the money. Now it's $3, but we should have got out right there capturing some of that. So we'll put another bid back there. If it continues to run up, then I'll lose on this last little piece, and that's just my stupidity. All right, so that's that. We do have an offer right now. I'm thinking about getting out at the top of the day here for Alibaba because the market's really, remember when the market was dancing around the 200 period? I was like, or the 50 period, we're kind of just like, in the market, we don't really want to go long or short. Not too many stocks are reacting huge off of this little move here. So I think either Tesla back to what, 209-ish would be a guess?
It's 209 quarters.
That's where I actually wanted to short it, isn't it? Oh, okay, well, good thing I was distracted trying to prepare that for Danielle Shay because some of the ideas that I thought I had would not be any good anymore. So Tesla, that short, I thought right into here was going to be a decent short. Now we're really starting to rip higher. That's 209.17. I guess we're not too out of the pocket yet. This could be a decent short, but then where do you get out? To hold it all the way to VWAP, 210, 211 seems to be too spicy. Looks like our longs were cash, but it did drop down to 206. Kind of hard to, like the long too 207.50. Well, holding it $2 against me is definitely possible. But there it goes. Huge move to the upside. I would say for Tesla here, I'm saying it's huge because it kind of is, man. It's 250 straight up. You still have some resistance in and around 210.50 just because that's where we've been. We could short 210 against 210.50. That might be something worth investigating here.
Yeah, I mean, someone was asking, why do you still trade this time? I like, generally speaking, when you get close to the imbalances, I like those into 350 style, like maybe reversion trades off of VWAP or off of like even dollar prices. Like I'll give you like the two examples of it. Sorry, I'm watching DWAC here. So like Nio at the $6 level, like shorting into that level. If it happens to make a bounce off this level to the downside, look to add on the way down and just look for that close style trade. And then the same thing, 16 area on Rivian. But DWAC just made a little bit of a pullback. So look at each of these dips. This has essentially been where it's gone ripping to the upside. So it just wicked that 45 level. You probably need to already be in that. Oh, chase that. The spread is ridiculous. Like I just pulled it up, and the offer was already 46 bucks. Like it just bounced off 45, and if you're punching long, you're punching 46 long. It's only 3:30, but it is getting a bit late in the tooth for it to break that high of the day. Might have missed that chance. I think going to AMD might make a little bit more sense here. Just try to jump back into this one.
You know what we can do? We do have the market recap show, and we do have stocks like UAL reporting. Maybe, I know Ramin's super busy, but if we have the earnings calendar, maybe we could throw that just for a second to give people an idea of maybe what's coming through. We have United. Oh,
there it is.
Kaboom, says Ramin. In your face, Sean. All right. Brown & Brown. If you're liking insurance companies, why not take Brown & Brown? You know, so there we go. That's that. We do have three. Tomorrow is like sort of bellwether names, like, you know, staple names with 3M, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble. Another very interesting name to continuously look at is Lockheed Martin, of course, with the uncertainty in RTX as well, Raytheon, as we get going on some of the names here to look forward to, as unfortunately this world continues to be a pretty messed up place. So you might want to have some RTX or some Lockheed Martin. And then there's DR Horton as well. So home builders and Verizon. I mean, I'm actually just passing over Verizon, probably the biggest name on there as well. So yeah, man, lots of opportunities there. And tonight in the stocks market as you get a lot of different earnings coming through. So I'll be discussing most of those. The big one, I guess, tonight is going to be United Airlines coming after market close, and then Zion as well as we look at the KRE.
Well, I'll tell you right now, GE. Now you gotta obviously adjust for the split here for General Electric tomorrow morning, but that stock has been absolutely fantastic in the last year. Like this is another one of those, hey, they managed to turn things around. They did the reverse split. They did the spin-offs, GE Health. They're probably planning on some further ones as well. But on the weekly chart, it basically has some smooth sailing. It just recently broke back out. Now going into, obviously with earnings, sometimes you get a bit of a pullback, but as long as it can hold on, 100 in a worst case scenario, maybe the 100 to 105 level, but especially this 115. If it can hang on to that on any kind of a dip, that's 10% from here. It's still in the upward channel, and it just feels like it's got room up to 150, 154. So I like what's going on with GE, and I would look for some continuation. You might get a chance to buy this dip, though. We've seen this in earnings season with things that are at these types of highs where you get that nice pullback, and then just go dip hunting on something like a General Electric. I don't know what the daily chart's doing over there. Kind of a messy, nice look. I went to the trade ideas chart.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because we have Michael Noss coming on.
It's like they want me to show off the trade ideas chart. So I just had a scalp trade in and out again on AMD. Took the long, had it at like 11.12, scalps them out at like the 20.25, and then tight stop on it again. You're so far away from VWAP that I'm just looking for that 169 bounce play. And I'm not holding it all the way down into 168. There's just way too much space. And every time it goes up, it can't seem to go more than 20 cents anyways. And I'm not still in that trade. I'm out of that trade. You guys can see right there. There's the out. If I hit the refresh or something, it'll go away. I'm only in the Nio and, of course, that Fisker, which at some point we do have to get out of Fisker.
Nah.
When it is, I should have just gone long. I was talking about this 86 cent level, and how that could have been a temporary bottom. I did take another fill there to get out at 88, and now you're back up at the 90 level. So that did work. It actually bounced 88 to 92 for anyone that was looking at that one. I don't generally like the long in the stock, but the technical level held pretty decently. I think if Fisker were to take out this dollar again tomorrow, it might actually have something to the upside. It's a 47% short float. And it's doing that little dance where it hasn't had much of a low, but when the last time it established a bottom, it was a pretty good scalpable level. That was about $1.40. If a dollar turns into that same thing, you might have something in the stock. It's a gimmicky trade. Like, I don't actually like the investment here, but if it goes back to that dollar level, I still like that breakout long potential on Fisker. We did have it in both directions. Sometimes I like both directions, sometimes I don't. Loss, win, win on Fisker. But you're gonna have to be patient with this AMD. This dance at 169. I guess you just gotta scalp it for the 20 cents each time.
Yeah, sometimes there's dance with pants and sometimes there's not. And right now, we got
dance with no pants.
Dance is very, very dangerous. Yes, very dangerous dancing with no pants on, of course. Okay, so we said we'd look at some names if there's anything anybody wanted to look at, so we can do that. I mean, what exactly? What did you say?
No, Mr. Memes.
Mr. Memes? Like look at some meme stocks? Oh, Piton. I was going to look at PayPal just because. I mean, again, a stock that I thought was going to go up. The note that we had earlier on today was that they were coming out with not coming out with anything. They have hold on a second here. Conference today where they were going to announce some AI generation tools.
Yeah, PayPal.
Stuff like that. PayPal, yeah. So I don't know. I thought that had a good chance to go up. We've seen a lot of talk, of course, about AI generation and what that means for some of these stocks and efficiency and stuff like that. But today, PayPal just, again, a huge red candle. Like the reason why I like this is right there. It's that breaking of the daily at 65. So I just thought today you're above the 200. I mean, when's the last time, right? We're all the way back in the summer that we were even visiting that 200 period moving average, because guarantee you it goes all the way like this. We're not even close to it. So now that we popped above it there at 63, 64, I just thought we could have a good long, and then today it gives it all the way back, and now we're just hovering at that $63 mark. I think this is a long. It's just, it's not looking like that. So yeah, about that long. Not overly in love with it anymore here on PayPal. You mentioned some Peloton action there, maybe?
Well, there was a question about Peloton. It's up a little bit, but it wasn't moving all that much. Thank you guys in the chat for posting the early look and balance. It is 480 to the sell side there. It was already in the chat, and appreciate you guys. So it's a small sell and balance. Market's relatively flat. What did just make a decent size move here was SoFi off to VWAP here. So back to the $8 level for SoFi. That's not bad. I mean, look, SoFi, this has been a key level for a while on SoFi. And you're just bouncing. You're closing above the 200 period moving average as long as something disastrous doesn't happen. Way too many lines in there, so let's remove that. Let's remove that. We don't need that either. We don't need this. I'll keep the trend lines that are still valid. I don't know why I cleaned this up last week. But you still have that trend line at the bottom, which I think is still valid. You can probably put one at the top at some point. But the 200 period moving average, you're going to close back above it. I like this higher low. Like if SoFi can close here, there might be, I know it rejected the same level today, but the fact that it held on to that 200 period moving average gives it a chance for a long tomorrow off this $7.80 to $8 area, especially the way they're buying it up. Illuminated Society just said TDOC.
Yeah.
Is that moving? I was looking for something that's showing some movement. I mean, Nio is like right here at that $6 and doing nothing. I mean, the last of that Fisker. TDOC made a bit of a move here. This is just like the SoFi move on basically almost no volume. It just kind of floats up here 30 pennies. If there's more volume, then I think you join stuff like that. But in the absence of volume, it's a little too late in the day for that kind of thing. Not bad. I'd rather if DWAC would go, I would probably just take a shot at Funware here. Because you can get Funware 35 cents off VWAP, and DWAC is trying to take out the top. The problem is DWAC is not getting through that high of the day. Like it keeps failing that 48.
Right. Yeah, DWAC is a funny stock. That 48 is really, really nice to look at. There's no doubt about that. It's difficult to trade,
No
probably.
way I'd short that, though.
Right. I mean, that's what Danielle was giving some covered puts, the naked puts, sorry. That's very, very dangerous to do that. But again, she's got that, go find her there, sponsored up that segment, and you can go find her. And she's got all that for sale. So if you don't understand anything about that,
Well, the key is she was comfortable being assigned to the stock. Right, like
right.
That's what it comes down to. Like, and that's what matters. She said that's relatively low price, but everyone's risk tolerance is different. So to her, she's comfortable with that. So you find something you're comfortable with in the risk, and that's part of the ball game there. I'm still not in that AMD position, by the way. So I don't know. The position board's correct for you, I'm assuming.
I'm not even looking. Long Baba, long Disney, short Affirm. Yes, sir.
Right.
But I just realized I did not put my bid out.
It's just the AMD. I did cover that like a few minutes ago.
All right. I'm just going to highlight traders stay late here because we are getting ready. I got to retweet this. Ramin sent it to me. He's like, retweet. So there it is right there. We will post it up here. Join me tonight. Here it is right here. Thanks, Ramin, for that, as we do have the markets recap right now. Traders stay late, SPY, NVIDIA, DWAC, all this kind of stuff. We'll be talking all about that tonight. We will have special guest Michael Noss on one more time here today. And like Neil and I keep talking about, it's always great to have others' opinion and whatnot, a little bit of a longer time frame for his trades than ours. Disney today still $2 in the money, so that's going to be a nice look, hopefully moving forward here. Would be Disney, so we'll see if that one wants to continue to work upside 95 and breaking longer. I really like Disney. I've talked about sort of why I like that name. Just bouncing again off of 90 and really trying to support that $88. If we lose that, it's going, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a problem. So let's wait to see if
this is what you need to ask Michael about.
Yeah, go, what?
He mentioned he was swinging BTC short when I talked to him on Friday. And obviously, you just saw it bounce off 40,000. So
yeah, that sounds like a good question.
I don't think we got too much. He didn't really say too much. You talked about the why. I don't know if he got into the exit plan or like if he had price targets on that short. At least I don't remember that. So the 40,000 move, clearly it's worked at this point, selling the Nio ETF. I keep seeing in the chat, T-Money, no stopping the USD CAD. It's true.
Which way?
It is true. Now on our we have Forex on the platform. But when I pull the chart up, you're going to notice it won't say like a percentage, 24-hour market, and all. But that would be a decent move. Almost 134 to 135, close to a full cent move on the USD CAD, which is relatively wild there. But yeah, like again, like we do quota. We don't really trade Forex. Not something I would look at unless I was trading something which was dual listed. In which case I would. Like I'd have that up if I'm trading something dual listed. It's a good resource to have. Someone's saying a firm into 45. Ooh, that's a spicy trade for 350. See, like previous support, resistance. If the imbalance comes out of sell, then all of a sudden you're not risking a heck of a lot. This is usually the kind of trade I like at about the 350 time frame. So we talk about like what setups do you like at the end of the day. Generally speaking, one of those really tight, 10 cents worth of risk, and if it retraces, you could be at 44.50 or 44 with a sell imbalance on a firm. Like look at the rally into it, grab 93s in the consolidation. It's a key level anyways. If it takes out that top, you give it to like 45.05. It's not a ton of risk for a potential decent size move. Who said a firm in the chat? Shout out to, Ian David was asking about a swing trade. Well, anyways, that one works to the downside. I like that setup. That's what I was looking for Nio to do, which it doesn't want to seem to move at all. But firm definitely setting up. As far as swinging it to the long side or short side, I mean, you mean short or long, and not that it matters. We don't hold things overnight unless it's our personal account, and I've never shorted in my personal account, as I've said before. I think it's a little bit dangerous, especially when you come into these squeeze type things. Yes, you've got 50, 52 over here that you can work off of, but that can gap through that pretty easy overnight. Let's go back to the desk with Brendo.
Yes, sir. I did want to say one quick thing there. I screwed this up, so I don't know if you can come to my screen or if the whole thing is frozen or what. No, PayPal's thing is not today.
It's
It's
this
the
week,
25th, yeah. So shout out to someone in the chat there that was like, yo, dude, it's the 25th. And I was like, let me go read that note again. And so I did screw that up. So we had it on our watch list today, and there it is, January 25th, PayPal's first look. I'm up on the stock today, so it is fine. But that's still Disney. Hold on a second. Here's PayPal. So it still doesn't make sense. I thought PayPal would have been strong on some kind of news. That's why I put it here on the sticky note, but definitely not the right look for today. So it's not today, it's on the 25th. So again, I kind of look as maybe picking something up then if we do make a move down here at the 200 period. I don't think they're gonna have anything negative to say, so I think PayPal can get going there.
I liked it today because of the close above the 200 period.
Well, that's why I thought we had a really good chance to go with some catalyst, but then we didn't have the catalyst. And as you can see, the short float, I just called it up to see if we can have another catalyst, and it's only 2%. So the short float is not going to be a catalyst for that name. So just be careful there if you were on PayPal, and I wanted to correct myself. So thank you for bringing that up in the chat there. I did say that there was something happening today. So that's definitely my bad. I thought there was. So all right, Affirm, we're still waiting, 44.50. The problems are fixed. Man, she's doing it all today.
Boom.
Let's go see if it's fixed or not.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
It's kind of a weird order. Chinese ADRs don't do much in the afternoons.
No.
But Pinduoduo has an interested buyer. Oh, the second I pull it up, they just filled them. Okay, anyways. There was a 50,000 share buyer. That the second I'm able to get to it, they did just press through that buyer, just about the 141 level. The new position was Affirm. But I just wanted to quickly show that, because you don't usually see size like that on a Chinese ADR in the afternoon. So Affirm, we got about 4 minutes till the imbalances come out. I'm going to take something out at the 80 level. Gimme, 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 always gets. Well, one little tick down, we should be able to get that fill. Because the imbalances, and we said it was a small sell, like 500 million to the sell side. Didn't really go to the overall individual names. Nothing really stands out for the afternoon early look on the imbalances. So in Palantir, 800,000 to the buy side, but nothing individually stands out. Let's go back to the desk.
Highs here for Rumble on the day, guys. Remember we were saying this morning there was more to come, apparently, on this Rumble and Portnoy announcement. Well, apparently Dave Portnoy is now part owner of Rumble as well, so some volume there.
Yay. That is good. That's good news for Rumble there. I would say the man is like a marketing guy. Some would say marketing genius. The guy was able to get out a pen and then get right back into it. Barstool Sports. So we'll wait to see here what's happening, but there goes Rumble on that news. Thanks, Brendo. You could see a lot of action coming through right now on that up to 5. And here we go. You are like... This is, you see my screen just flickered there again.
I keep missing every time you say
No, it doesn't matter. The stream probably got it. 550 end of day there is what we're looking at. That's the top, 550, so we'll look at that. Logitech tonight, Brown & Brown, UAL, Zion's Bank. Watch out for this, so 550 breaking on Rumble. I think that looks pretty decent down there. To see if we can get it. We do have the imbalances coming out. So, I just want to talk quickly about some trades. I don't really have any offers on Affirm. If it goes up, it goes up. Affirm was a good trade there on the top side. Disney, if Disney breaks, we have this run all day long. If it breaks 95, then we're going to get out. So this has been a good trade to the upside. We're long at 93.30. It's $1.80 in the money. Basically, it almost made $2. That's not what we're waiting for. I was just waiting to see if it could collapse. So 95 is going to be my out there if that does come through. So, yeah, just a little bit of a shots fired there for Disney. It's a good trade back up to the upside, so we'll continue to watch that. Alibaba, we're still in as well. I'm going to use 68.50 right there, the 200 period MA. So, again, Alibaba was a pretty good trade, man. I mean, we were just going long off this 67.50 area, and now we're all the way up. So we're in the money 2 positions now, both Dollar Club members. So really happy with the way they're performing. Let's put a stop on Baba. We'll do it right now in front of everybody. 68.47. I don't know. If you do have a lot of shares, sometimes you want to make specific prices and stuff like that. But I don't want it. If it breaks 50, it could stall at 49, 48. But then like a real move down, maybe give me 3 extra pennies. So we'll get stopped out at 68.47 if we do get stopped out at all. That is on Alibaba.
There's a couple of good questions in there. Derek first saying I need to start working on using trailing stops for scaling out. I guess often the scaling out is good, but when something trends hard, the trailing stop makes 3 to 4x more. Got to determine what style of trader you are. Like if you're a scalp trader, then you scale out. That's what you do because you're looking for that smaller move and more aggression. But if you are looking to hold it for the bigger move, like get the half the day's range, that's a different story. I think trailing stops are important. For that. And there was a good question here, Steve G, the difference between range bound and consolidating, how can you tell? Well, I always think like range bound is, it's got to at least be moving some kind of a decent fraction of the day's range. Like consolidation should be very tight. Like to me, this is a consolidation. Like I don't have an exact example of something that's going to be range bound, but I want a consolidation to look like this. Like it finds a level and it just kind of goes sideways for a prolonged period of time throughout the day, like an hour or so, and then it makes a move out of it. That's a consolidation. I wish I had a chart up that would right now show you more range bound, but if I find one, I'll let you know. Brendo?
I'm just watching this live stream now. Again, the CEO of Rumble on podcast talking currently, guys. They're going to announce more after 4 o'clock. So I guess they're waiting for the actual market to close. They can't talk about it until then, but more to come after 4 o'clock on Rumble.
Fresh highs.
Wow, Rumble, DWAC, everything going. Join me tonight for the market recap show. We'll talk about all that and more, but right now, Affirm, we got it. So there it is, man. What was the price? We'll just tell you we were sitting in front of it, 65s. So not a great price for Affirm, but you know, right in front of the 50 period, we liked it. Oh, it's 350. Oh my God, what is the number coming out? It's 350. We'll wait.
1.2 billion to sell.
1.2 billion. My bad. I was just getting filled on Affirm there and did not realize that this had come out. So let's just quickly show you what is hot on this list and what is not. TLT, who cares? CVS. You know what? There's RTX. We talked a little bit about them coming through tonight on their report. We'll see what they got in store for that. GoEV was moving around today, I believe, a little bit. Yeah, 18 cents. That name was pumping around, only up 11%, but that's on there as well. BAC's a buy. That's nice to see. Yeah, I'm not seeing much else there. Oh, Adobe. I like Adobe. Adobe, a nice buy there. I like it better through 600. But for right now, Adobe nicely recovery, down 0.71. But yeah, I think they got downgraded today, Adobe.
Yeah, Adobe on the downgrade, that was a bit of a surprising one. I just jammed out of that quick little reversion trade in Affirm. The idea was to hold it for the move at 350, and the move at 350 was a bounce off 44.5. So that's a consolidation. It's not a long one, but a tight consolidation off the 45 level, short 93s, takes them out 80s, then got it all out there at like 60s, 62s. Let's be precise. So about like the second half, we get 30 cents on. I like the risk to reward. It's a time of day thing as well. Like you get to the end of the day in front of the imbalances. The imbalances are a good time, at least in my estimation, a lot of times for reversion style trades. Like if a stock was trending in one direction and provides you with an opportunity, then the excuse of going into the imbalances does give you sometimes a bit of a turn spot. The fact the imbalance locator was saying it's the short side early just happened to help the trade. Fisker, we're still in. I'm just going to get on the bid here. Fisker might make a run at $1 again. It does feel like it. With only 7 minutes to go, however, it is time to get out. It is time to get flat, and I guess $50 is going to happen after all, maybe.
Oh, I was just going to talk about
$49.91.
Wow.
On DWAC. That is the new high of the day. It's obviously, I mean, it's obviously a 52-week high.
People are going to get whacked.
I would say, like this, but the crazy thing about it, remember 175. The last time it did this, the last time it had a move of this ilk, it was actually from the 50 level, which is where we're getting to now, up to like 100. So it was a double up into that range. So 50 does have some resistance. There's actual size on the offer at 50 as well. Not that I would short that in a million years at 353. But DWAC looks like it wants to make a run at this. And it probably has some juice to it in volume in the aftermarket as well. We've seen that before. So DWAC continues to go higher.
Yeah, just be careful with it, man. Again, we'll talk about it after the market, but this could go after. You know, when you have this kind of a move, and there are going to be traders that are going to probably be short in and around near this $50, this could blast like crazy in the aftermarket. Like I almost wouldn't be surprised you see a 7 handle or something like that on DWAC after hours today when there's going to be nobody sitting on the offer. Like, so.
You think it's thin now. Wait till 4. Wait till 4 0.01. It's going to be very.
Yeah. I think that's going to be pretty thin down there. So we'll see DWAC. But again, congratulations if anybody's on that. And just, take what Danielle said to heart a little bit there. You can just get caught offside a little bit and get too excited with it. It's probably too expensive to trade options right now on this name. So just be careful with what you're doing on DWAC. I mean, to each your own, but to each their own. It's, just watch out. I feel like this is going to be a very, very dangerous trade moving forward. I definitely going to be looking at this tomorrow, so join us back tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Just remember how this ended last time. That's all.
Yeah, and it's going to end that way again. It's just It's just a matter of
when.
Yeah, when and being able to make money during that time.
The last, remember for day trading, the last bounce this made when it made a double up, it took a heck of a lot longer to do it. This is going all the way back to 2021. It bombed at 38, and eventually it got to 100. But that took a hot minute. But usually all of these pops come back in. This is by far the biggest one. Maybe it lasts to get back into 100. But if you don't take profit on these on the way up and keep thinking it's going to go to $1,000, it just kind of sucks. I hate it when you see people with those stories. Oh man, I wish I'd gotten out, but I didn't take any profit.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way back to break even. Just pay yourself.
Those are
A trader's job is to pay themselves. So if you got a great swing trade, A, congratulations. And B, make sure you have an exit strategy. That's all. As long as you have an exit strategy, which you're comfortable with, I think you should be fine. The imbalances are headed. They did come out to that sell side 1.2. There was nothing really big at 355. No real big names to pair off, but it looks like we did just pull back a little bit there to said downside. I bet you could have hung on to, those shorts a little bit longer. For sure.
Yeah, I'm just, there you go, I'm out. All right, so there it is, man. We'll end the day with some good trades happening. So that was a good one there. We did get out of Disney at the top of the day, basically. That's from 93.40. That's about $1.80 right there. And then we did close out our day on Alibaba just now as well. I'm just not going to wait for these to trigger. We're going to get out at 68.50. What's the point? We might as well just get out now. So that's what we're looking at right there. And then after that, we're basically flat. So I'm going to run over to the desk, get some agua, and then get ready to rock and roll. So join me after, and then join us all tomorrow again as we'll do it all over again. Michael Noss, market recap, UAL, stuff like that coming through. Zion Bank. We'll watch out for KRE. I'm just going to go set that up right now. Apparently Zion is out. They just dropped it early. So
come on.
We will not be looking at that.
They just affirmed themselves.
Yep, there it is. So they beat 130 versus 99 cents for Zion. I just see that right now at 352. So
apparently this is the move on Zion at 3. We'll let you get up to the desk. At 3 o'clock, this thing went down $1 and then up $3. I'll never forget this happened to me on a firm one day reported someone hit the release early, they were supposed to go out whatever time, and they released it at 2 something in the afternoon. And its stock tanked. I had just been stopped out of a short 5 minutes before they dropped the report, and it just absolutely tanked. But what are you going to do? If I had been in it, I probably have bids out. I would have gotten filled into VWAP, but it looks like Zion a little bit early. They just couldn't wait. How often this happens? How hard is it to schedule something correctly? But congratulations if you're in Zion for them. Shout out to you, Paulie D, as well. Paulie D was he needs an exit strategy for jury duty. And all I did is I shared a piece of advice that a friend who also at one point was on the trading floor, who had worked as a bailiff, once told me. And I don't want to get into it too specifically, but he more or less said, it's just about how bad you're willing to make yourself look if you don't want to have to do jury duty. Which for some people, just go in there and do it. I'm Teflon Don when it comes to jury duty. The first time that I got called for jury duty was a couple of years ago. I'm not going to take any new positions here with only 2 minutes to go. But the first time I was called, I was all ready to go. I had it booked off. I knew I was going to be able to come in to work. And then it looks like a plea deal happened. So I got the call over a weekend. You're not going to have to show up. There's no more case. And then the other time I got called, I actually had to show up, did the whole 9. You go in, you fill out your forms, you're there for a couple of hours, and then the second time, it's exactly the same thing must have happened because the judge said, yep, looks like we're no longer going to need a jury, so another plea deal. And that time I was actually going to have to sit on it, but can't get me, man. And then that's the one where it's good because if you actually go in, they can't call you for a few more years. So that's when I bit that bullet. One of these days, I'm going to run my mouth about it, then I'm going to actually have to do jury duty. And hopefully it'll be like 12 Angry Men, where it's a lot of fun, but I seriously doubt that. Novice trader asking what's happening on Google. Mostly today, it wasn't a heck of a lot. I don't know if there's a move happening at the close. You're right, Google is selling off a little bit here. Yeah, this is a bit different. Like, I saw AMD barely moving. Oh, I should have held on to Nio, that's coming down. Not really much of anything, but Google sell side. It was a 1.2 million sell imbalance in general, and the market is pulling back in here. But Alphabet turning red, this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm going to note, because Alphabet was breaking out. Obviously, Alphabet was breaking out like a lot of other things, and then holding on a previous close. This looks technical to me. So my first guess is you were at the lows. This is previous close 146.38. And the second it broke it, it just accelerated to the downside, right? So it broke the bottom, went red, and then you got acceleration going into the close. Not a great look when you get that bottom getting broken at the end of the day. When you close on the lows, it means that late money, that overnight money did not want to hold on to Google holding those highs. So not a great look for them. But the market was overall red. Let's get on over to Adara. It's Monday. The trading day is over in 3, 2, and 1. But the day is not done just yet. Two things. One, the market finished up, believe it or not, 0.12%. The NASDAQ, not exactly dead. The ES actually finished to the upside. DWAC closed, I didn't get the exact close price, but suffice to say it was over $49. 85% to the upside. 28.5 million shares worth of volume in DWAC. And if you're looking at Funware, I mean, not too shabby. Funware, only 728 million shares, 42% for Funware to the upside. You saw what happened with Alphabet late in the day there. Not exactly the best look. Tesla, I cannot believe Tesla. This one, what a reverse on Tesla. It went from like a great long early to just now down 1.5%, closing underneath that key 212 level. You tell me, Tesla want 170? It just feels like Tesla wants this 170 level. So, we'll give it some respect. This trend is still working to the downside. UAL might be out. I want to go down the line here because anyone that watched the show today, you know that Fabian wasn't able to be in. He wasn't feeling well. So Ramin was on the ones and twos, handling it all by herself. She did have some help. Thank you to Rob, and thank you to Randy as well for filling in and giving her a little bit of a break from time to time. I do see UAL moving a little bit here in the afternoon. But shout out to them. Appreciate it. Adara as well. Shout out, of course, to Sharif on the midday. And we super enjoyed the Michael Noss. We're going to have him with Sean as well in the afternoon. And appreciate Brendan and the fantastic interview, as always, with Danielle Shay. You know who I am. You know where you're headed. You got some earnings, little recap, and a special guest with the market recap right now at the desk with Sean.
Hey everybody, welcome to the market recap. You're here, traders stay late. It's 4 o'clock. Is 4 o'clock really that late? It's not, but you're with me right now, and it's good that you are because we are getting ready to rock and roll with earnings season. So we're gonna have a bunch of breaking news today. Get rid of that, and it starts now. We have UAL is now out, so we'll have a quick look at what's going on with United. Hey, United, what's up, my guy? Nice little move up there to the upside as Benzinga's popping off right now. This show brought to you by Benzinga. Go get it ASAP. Hit the link in the bottom to get your subscription today. EPS right now of 2 beats 170. I like sales also beating on the top and the bottom is United Airlines right now. So nice little move to the upside on that. We also will wait out for Zion. We got that a little bit early. What's up? Not Zion Williamson. Shout out to the Pelicans. But right now, 130 coming out, beating 99 cents by 31%. Good little beat there, and a 29% decrease over earnings last year. So obviously, we knew some of the banks are going to be in trouble, but let's just check out what is happening with Zion right now. But there's UAL. We'll have a 3-minute up here. You know what? Because traders are staying with us, let's watch a 1-minute chart right now, up to 40, still looking at the 50-period MA on that one to see if we can break it. And then right here, ZION. So Again, we kind of screwed that one up because it looks like that was dropped a lot earlier, maybe 3 o'clock. Nice move, 41 to 44. We kind of left it alone there on the big show. Missed that one, but again, nice little earnings report coming through for Zion Corp. Upside right now as that bank seems to be getting stuff figured out. We'll check out what the KRE is up to as well. All right, nice little move up to 52. You could see it got going a little bit there at 3 o'clock as well, indicating some successful moves there on the regionals. We'll watch out for WFC. Obviously, we know Pac West, First Republic, all of that. Western Alliance, some of those names are gone, of course. We'll wait for WAL coming out. And there's the KRE right now. Let's go over some sector recaps. Should I move over a little bit this way? There, how about that? Now we're a little more centered there. We do have Michael Noss coming through. What a good day it was today, guys, for everybody. I think the trading was a little bit off sometimes. Tesla with a nice move to the upside. Then it got faded out a little bit. We can have a quick look at TSLA. Where did we end up? Yeah, so look at this, man. Nice move down. We had Danielle on talking about looking for 200 to cover some of those options. But Tesla today, little tricky on the 10-minute chart. We had a nice move to start the day, man, and everyone was really getting bullish. Wow, what's up with Tesla? But then it just got cranked back in. And to me, this level, look how key 209, 210 is. We bounced around there. That's 210. This is 209.50. Nice downside push there. We'll wait to see if Tesla can get going. We had it written down. I don't have the sticky note with me, which is okay. We had it written down, Tesla. We wanted to look at 208, 210. So I feel like we nailed that. Like it goes as low as 206, but we're still in that pocket here. I want a Tesla upgrade. I want some news on Tesla. Then we can go hammer time. Remember, Thursday is the report for TSLA. So we're getting ready to watch out for that one as well. IWM, funny thing, we have Michael Noss coming on. We're saying watch out for them. Watch out for some weakness in IWM. But again, bouncing off the 50-period moving average, nicely done back up to the upside, well off of its all-time highs. What other news did we get today, man? We got UNG, wow, down another 5. This really, guys, got to scroll the other way. Stop, then go the other way. Nope, no. All right, maybe go this way. All right, oh, there it is. Okay, so UNG got that nice bump. Remember we were all freezing our you-know-what's off last week? Well, UNG went up on that. And then all of a sudden, man, I looks up, we're about zeros today. So it's a nice move to the downside right here, coming back into $5 again for UNG as gas storage becoming an issue now. We have too much supply. If that's it for the demand, not that's it. I mean, it's going to get colder, right? But if that was the big move up, you see the reaction. Now you're pulling all the way back down, UNG to the downside. And what happened with Bitcoin? Got to make some calculations here. Should we be in Bitcoin? Should we be in Ethereum? But right now, Bitcoin, IBIT on the daily, almost back down to lows again. And we had some news today. Breno brought us that ARC-B, some share. Well, it's going to look stupid, but since the IPO, 50 down to 40 right now as Bitcoin, GBTC, ETHE starting to go a little bit back in here. A sell the news event on Bitcoin with all of those ETFs seems kind of obvious at this point, doesn't it? OIH, off the jump, nice move there as oil trying to find its footing. I think we might have found it. For me, I prefer the XLE. Get into some XLE down here. I feel like you're protected a little bit. You have some bottom, 76, 77. That could be something to talk about. Hey, if you said 20,000 words or something like that today, put your hand up, and if you got a drink of water beside you, take it as well. Shout out to Hydration Nation. Wow. All right, the gong happens there. This is a gong show here. Thank you to Ramin today, who's been doing absolutely amazing considering that her right-hand man, if we can say that, right? Not here today. Hopefully Fabian will be back tomorrow. Not feeling too great today, so we'll see him tomorrow, hopefully. 189, nice upside move there for SMH as they just keep on going. And we can't talk about SMH without talking about AMD. Look, AMD again. They reported down here. Boom to the downside. Got $94 their last report. Okay? It's funny that AMD really kickstarted this whole move. I don't know if it did or not. The report wasn't great. Lisa Su came out and was like, whoa. We have all these data centers. We have this H1 chip competitor, this and that. You can go look it all up. Then they just doubled from there. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure heading into earnings season, especially this time around. So let's keep out an eye on AMD. And then, of course, we had, just a couple weeks ago, or was it last week, a week and a half ago, we were like, yeah, baby, NVIDIA's breaking through 5 bills. But look what's up more. It's 6 bills right now. That's a nice topside move. And again, besides coming in and getting, maybe flattened or marketed out, I don't see a problem with just going short here in and around 6 bills and using this high of 602, 603. Tomorrow's trade today. Let's watch out for NVIDIA in and around 601, 602. If we can get a high print like that tomorrow, let's try to short it against this day, okay? Because today we're starting to push a little bit low. We did breach 590 or so. We didn't breach it, but we came back into 590. That's something to look for again. Let's go over to our post-market screen now. Let's see what's moving. We've got UAL moving a little bit here. I don't see too much else going. We'll start these up again right now to see if something starts hitting here into the close. So we did get a big UAL print today. Let's just check out what's going on with them. Come out with their report. And as you can see here, that's a 10-minute chart. Let's go back to a 1 and see what's going on with United Airlines. All right, so a nice move up to 41, pulling back into 40. Look where we just bounced off the 50-period moving average. We're going to need to take that out and then watch out for a short up here at 44. I really like that call for UAL. I don't think airlines are too investable. The thing is, if you're all the way down here, okay, on airlines, considering what we've got, and I know they hedge out for oil and all that kind of stuff, but right now we're pretty low on the price of oil. That's generally been a positive thing for a lot of these airlines, right? But why is UAL under the 50 and under the 200? A little worried about that, but saved by a nice day there today. That is UAL. We'll check out Benzinga to see if anything else is hit. Right now, I'm not really seeing anything, just UAL and Zion coming through again today. Quick check on Zion Bancorp as, still hovering around $42, $43. Not much in the pocket for that. So earnings, little bit muted here today. I see Michael is waiting in the wings. Michael, I switched off our tree map view, and now we're just going with this. So thanks for helping me out last week. Now we can all see these percentages. And again, other than some of these outsized movers, we had KRE moving. Why? We got that release from Zion a little bit early. So that helped that go to the upside. So ho-hum on that. You know what I actually don't have on here? Oh, yes, I do. I was going to say uranium. You know what, Michael? I know that he's going to come with a couple ideas for you as well, but I look at this uranium ETF. Michael brought us this a while ago. I can't even remember when. I feel like we might have been in and around 20 off of the 200 and the 50 period right here. But it's a pretty nice break on uranium to the upside. But look, to me, this kind of looks like a failed break than the top at 32. I almost like the short now in uranium. I wonder if Michael's still in this one. Maybe we'll ask him about it on the weekly as well. Wow, how many times, guys, girls, all of us, have we seen this top on the weekly get hit and then fade back out? Let me check out lithium as well, because wow, okay, this name not positive price action on lithium as that continues to make moves to the downside. Oh, I just had something in my mind that I want to talk to Michael about. It doesn't matter. I can ask him anything. That's one of the best things about the guy. Loves reading charts. He's going to come on in just a couple seconds. I know what it was. Duh. Michael, if you're listening, this is a big one for me. I really want to know what the heck am I supposed to do with FXI? I'm not in this. We really liked FXI. If you look at the daily chart here, if I could write a book or something, it would be these flat bottom breaks. Like when you broke this 25 there, and remember, the reason why I like 25 was this was that October bottom for the NASDAQ, for the SPY, for the IW, basically for anything you can find, we've tried to hold. Now, not anything, I just looked at lithium, but this $25 mark there, if you can't hold when the rest of the market is breaking and you're hovering around support, China, FXI are the large cap ETF for China. You're falling back in. And now that I look at this, look at the weekly chart. Wow. Just matching, just matching where we were, FXI on the weekly. Yeah, this goes all the way back to last October now, 2 Octobers ago, sorry. Back in 22. Maybe we can even zoom out even more to get a little bit of a better look. Where are the COVID lows, man? They're going to be really low, but I don't even think it's necessary to look at COVID lows at this point for China. they're getting hit to the downside, man. I mean, recession or not, their GDP numbers continue to be weaker. Youth unemployment, although a nice uptick, was weaker. They're not looking very good. It looks like FXI goes all the way back, and we are well under. I mean, COVID bottoms. I mean, you're looking at not like, what, 33 here back for March 20th? Man, China's in trouble now. I don't know what to do about some of these. It looks like it's a nice downside move. IBBs we really like. The NASDAQ today should have maybe led with this. NASDAQ pretty flat, but still at all-time highs and above. Every time you see a green tick for the NASDAQ, you are going to be talking about all-time highs. IBIT, yeah, we already talked about Ethereum a little bit, and then there's ETHE pulling back in. I believe Michael, as well as many traders, are sort of on this look right now, and that is the Ethereum versus BTC, so ETHE versus BTC sort of pairs trade. So maybe we can highlight that as well. But hey, that's a little bit of a rundown. It's nice to see the XLF, nice some upside moves today on JP Morgan strength. There's my empty desk because I'm at this desk, so that's really good. We only have 15 minutes left, but if he's ready, it's Michael Nuss. Let's go, Michael.
Ready to go.
All right, Michael Nuss, over 2,800 people watching, and now they've got two of the best. So I call you up. It's Michael Nuss, CMT, at Michael Nuss, CMT, both on Instagram and on X. How are you doing, my fine sir?
I've been doing fantastic. Like I said this morning, it seems like they've been lining all the holidays up with Monday. So it seems like it's been like a month or so since I've been on here with you. So it's great to be back.
I feel like it has. Did you hear what I was talking about there? Maybe I'll move you to Tuesday then. I don't know. Oh, that's our friend Brian Shannon.
You can't bump him. Yeah.
Can't. Well, I could. But all right. So we're going to go a little bit lower here. Man, this China news, it's like every single day on our watch list, we have something like Alibaba downside, some of these Chinese EVs to the downside. Amongst some of maybe your group, your friends, what are we thinking about China? Is it time to sort of step in? I look at the FXI, man. We're at those lows on the weekly. It doesn't look good to me. I don't want to catch a falling knife. What are we doing with some of these Chinese names?
To be honest, I don't think you're doing much of anything. So I have BABA up here on my screen, and I have a little area highlighted, and that's sitting, I think 78 or 77. I really don't think, unless something crazy occurs, that you can really justify being long under this without catching a falling knife. And I think I was listening in the green room. I think you hit the nail on the head with that, where when a flat bottom break occurs, you have to just stay awake. If we ever reclaim that level and it ends up being a bit of a bear trap or something, I think that is an actual trade that you can get into. But until then, we're below this resistance. You have to imagine if we get back up near this level at all, there's going to be a whole bunch of people who, either got stopped out or shorted in that trade that are going to defend that position. So I really think, and it's the same if you look at FXI, it's the same as if you look at KWeb. They all have these kind of flat bottom type areas that unless we get them back, I really don't think China is a place I want to look at. Now, if a few weeks or a month goes by and we establish some other base somewhere else, maybe we can play off of. But right now, I think if you do anything, it's just catching a falling knife.
All right. I agree with you. I'm trying to stay away as much as I can from that. Unfortunately, my long-term portfolio is stuck in some Alibaba shares, so we'll have to wait for that to come through again, and patience is the name of the game. All right, I saw, because I could see your screens as well. Thanks for calling up uranium. You nailed that one, man. I'm not sure if you're still in this name, what the story is with uranium, but we had a great move there from $20 up to $30. I feel like a man like you would be trimming some out if you didn't already, but it's a nice move up on uranium. I like the spot, but what do we have to talk about here with URA?
So with uranium itself, right, we had this gap up, and I think you're right that we may have failed that gap. I'm looking at this $30 area. They were the prior highs at the end of 2023. If we can dig in anywhere near this area and push higher, then it's just a retest of the breakout. If not, then it's a bit of a pullback. But I did want to go into the uranium stocks, which I still have one of, and I'll talk to in a bit. If you look at a lot of these uranium names, I have to remove all of this because this was the setup I had on CCJ on my charts before when I actually bought that last pullback to a breakout. But I wonder if now we're potentially going to see the same thing on this one. But the name that I really still have a sizable position in is UEC, and I've marked the same area in UEC, and we're getting nowhere near there. So when it comes to the underlying UEC and all of these things are going to move with uranium. So if uranium completely falls out of bed here, I have to get out of this position because at some point it's going to get dragged down by that. But if this is still holding well above that end of the year breakout,
Right.
then I have to stay in because it's showing not only great relative strength to uranium as a whole, but great relative strength to CCJ, which I think is kind of the king of that kind of sector. So it's weird to see this kind of divergence. Generally speaking, when you're playing commodity names, they're all going to move fairly closely with commodities. But we are seeing a little bit of divergence. So I am still in UEC,
Okay.
and I like that. And if we get a bounce in uranium, I'm probably going to add more.
What is that price where the line is there on UEC? Just some people asking. There we go, 690, 680?
680, 690. I think you could probably say $7 just to keep it easy.
I mean,
But the variance in this has just been kind of shocking to me, and I'm not too sure why. Maybe there's some news on this particular company, but it's just not participating as nearly as much in the little pullback we're seeing in uranium here.
love that. I mean, I love when it looks like that and actually works, those breaks on the daily like that. Absolutely huge. I see you have a little scanner in your bottom right there that says Trade Ideas Squeeze Scanner. To me, when I think about something squeezing, man, I just look at Digital World Acquisition Corp. And if you come over to my screen, I'll give you a second to load it up yourself here. Look at this, guys. We are now up, Michael, right up on the weekly chart. That might give you some ideas here just for that. We go all the way back to October 21st, obviously where, we back in the day, man, we had another, election talk. Nice move to the upside right there, ripping back up. We hit 175 on squeeze, man. That was a lot of fun. But look what we're pumping up to right now. This April of 22, these levels right here, $51, $52. I thought we'd actually squeeze a little more than this in the post market. I thought we could have a 70 handle. I thought if we took this out, then we would get back into up here. Tomorrow, this should be a real fun name. Are we thinking, like, maybe we're overthinking this, Michael, and you just play what you see every single day. And if it's going to go up, wait for pullbacks to get long and just forget about shorting a name like this. It's only 7% short. It's not even like someone's going to get blown out to the upside here. But we've heard that Fidelity, a couple other brokers, don't have any shares to borrow, creating this sort of a squeeze to the upside here. Are we crazy to think about 52 as maybe being a top? I don't know.
I don't think you are. And again, as someone who I was in the green room this morning with you when I was waiting to get on the morning show, and you were talking about how, this isn't even de-SPAC'd yet. It's not a profitable company. It doesn't have much cash on hand. No one's really using the service. So what I do in that case, I go and I've got my chart kind of annotated on the screen here, and you can just see these histories of run ups and then fall down and run ups and fall down. And to me, this reminds me of the meme stocks. Every quarter, every year, you get this moment where AMC or something will double off its lows, and you get all the people saying, hey, this time it's different. We're going to the moon this time, just for it to fall back down and hit new lows. I wouldn't think there's nothing fundamentally changed in this company, so I wouldn't think that it would be any different this time. But as you said, I noticed with Interactive Brokers, who I trade through as well, they ran out of shorts today. So just be careful. I don't think you're crazy at all for wanting to short this. I think at some point, if we fast forward a few months from now, it's right back where it was or lower. However, I just be careful with the trade execution on that one.
Yeah, we had Danielle Shay talk about options and going a little naked on those puts. That's very, very dangerous as we talk. And another thing, I think I've seen you tweeting about this. I know there's a lot of people looking at the correlation, and maybe you have something to share on this one, between Ethereum and BTC, because, I mean, we've seen a pullback. I mean, just looking at Bitcoin rate, I mean, we can come over to my screen and give you a second here as well. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback now as BTC is just like hanging around 40,000, of course, as we talk about that. We had a nice move up, and I feel like it was pretty obvious that we would get a little bit of a pullback after some of these ETFs were announced and approved and so on and so forth. I almost sort of talked about it as Well, we can call them. Yeah, I want to sort of compare it to when a stock gets added to an index, possibly, or maybe the release of the Cybertruck. Everyone gets so excited. Then the day it's released, you kind of start to edge back down. I mean, me and you have been in this business probably too long to tell anybody about, but we've seen so many examples where it's always buy the rumor, sell the news. Should we be picking up some Ethereum because we assume that the ETFs will get approved for this at some point, maybe in the summer?
Yeah, and I have a chart up here that's both the grayscale Ethereum and Bitcoin ETFs. And I remember we were on here right before me and you right before the ETF launch, and we talked about this and thankfully called it that hey, this was probably going to be a sell the news event. The launch of Bitcoin futures
Yep.
was the top ones, and the launch of I think Coinbase as a stock was the top again.
Yeah.
So really a huge history of sell the news. And Bitcoin really took a tumble. And Ethereum, it's kind of hard to see on this chart, but has actually been holding up much better. Now that changed a little bit today. We had a pretty decent sell in Ethereum as a whole. But if that's going to remain what's going on where people are selling this to get into Ethereum ahead of a potential Ethereum ETF, I do think that that makes sense for me. And I mentioned this on some of the stuff I do personally, but I shorted Bitcoin at that 45,000 level when that failure cured. I did buy a little Ethereum, but I did get stopped out of that today as it broke. So right now I'm just net short crypto as a whole. I kind of look at it like Bitcoin is the S&P 500 of crypto. If that's
me too.
falling, you're probably even these altcoins, Solana, and all of these names, eventually they're going to drop with it. If it's rallying, eventually they're going to rally with it. So I don't generally want to stray too far from that.
All right, today, thanks for that advice. I agree, man. This is, you are right, man. It's like BTC is like the Apple, and we're all not trading the RSP. See, I was listening to you this morning. But okay, wouldn't that be kind of cool? You know, maybe we can do something here, Michael. We need to have like an ETF of cryptoverse. You know, so you just sort of put like the top 20 coins, and then, you know, we can just be like adding them, removing them, things like that. Maybe we should be quiet or get Aunt Kathy on the phone and figure this all out with her, but I think that could be a good idea. All right, I said earlier today, I have to let you go soon because we're running out of time, but it's always such a good segment. You look at opening candles for the week. And I know you do a lot of work on the weekend and things like that. Trying to maybe start something, you know, what looked good last week, what's setting up for something this week. Is there, and again, I know you're on this morning, but again, we don't have the same viewership all the time. Is there an idea maybe that you're looking at heading into the week? I know it's a big earnings week, so is there anything specifically that we can focus on that I can talk to you about later?
Absolutely. So just to quickly summarize what I talked about this morning for those who missed it, and you should tune in if you did, but the idea is that yes, the S&P 500 broke all-time highs, but there's a whole bunch of other things that haven't yet. IWM is still 20% off lows and things like that. And in bull markets, generally speaking, like we talked about with Bitcoin and the altcoins, you will have the strongest names will pull up the weakest names. In bear markets, right, whatever is the weakest will pull down the strongest, and vice versa in bull markets where we expect this to pull up the weakest. So I am focusing pretty heavily on names that are still strong, but more in that small cap space, not the large caps, because I think they're looking a little bit overextended. So I have a couple of those that I have highlighted here. And I'm looking a lot. That's why I know you noticed this short float scanner. This short float scanner I have below is basically looking for stocks that are heavily shorted and they are above their 50-day moving average. So just showing some strength. And these are some names I want to take a look at. So this is a therapeutics name, so be very careful, but it's TGTX. And the reason for it is a 23% short float. It's pulled back down to this support, 15 support that it had before. Full disclosure, I actually bought some of this on the close today. I also wanted to highlight CVNA, which is our Trade Ideas Trade of the Week, and that has been pulling back as well with a 40% short float. So if we are going to see wild moves on things like DWAC, it only makes sense to me that we are then also going to see crazy moves on things like Carvana, which you can see on Friday broke this downtrend line and then gapped up today. So I'm keeping a close eye on anything that is heavily shorted and showing some strength, just because I believe that if we are going to get this rotation into small caps, then it's small caps you want to look at. And I like heavily shorted small caps because when they get going, they can really get going.
What was that, Sia Cat? What was that Trade Ideas trade of the week? How come I don't, you probably said it so many times, it just went right over my head. How do viewers be a part of that? Is it an email? Is it, how does that all happen?
Yeah, so as always, you should go to trade-ideas/tradertv and make sure you get everything there. There's the scans that I share with the guys are located on that site as well. But if you sign up for the trade of the week, what we do is a bunch of us traders sit around. Steve mainly does it, he's user number 3 for Trade Ideas. So he's the 3rd ever user for Trade Ideas. He's been swing trading for probably 20, 30 years. I don't want to date him now. And very, very good at it. And he uses our software. He goes through, he gives you guys one free trade with an entry and an exit. And the whole idea behind it. So yeah, go to tradeIdeas.com and sign up for that.
It's Michael Noss, and it's Trade Ideas. Make sure you go check that out. Thank you so much for joining again. What a fantastic segment with lots of ideas, and that's why the people are here. All right, I like your new setup there. Good luck with all those trades, and I'll chat with you next time.
Talk to you soon.
Ciao, Michael Noss. That's him, good friend of the show. All right, look, Michael Noss gives the real deal as well, but if you're looking for day trades, man, it's 8:30. It's this guy every single day, and you can't go wrong. If you're looking for some information, let me go to the next topic. There's something called the sticky note. I don't know if you heard about that, but we have it right now today. Let's just review it just real quick. Okay, I screwed this up on PayPal today, so maybe don't look at the sticky note anymore. But I thought there was AI news. I actually was talking about this as far as potentially being something happening today. I thought PayPal had a good chance of breaking through $66. Let me just check out what we did on PYPL. It's actually okay because we were positive on it today, but that's just because we were smart enough to have a stop order and a trailing stop order at that. When we opened up here at 68.50, I'm like, okay, it's go time, man. PayPal, as you can see right here on the daily, breaking higher with AI news. Are you kidding me? We love AI news. You know, the market does. Look at this nice move up. So we're like, all right, if you're going to drop back down in, show me the light. So at 9.50, we already had that bottom here of 66.50. Neil's like, hey, it's coming back in. And what did we write down on the sticky note? 66 long. Well, we can't, honestly, we can't do any better than to get long there than get out at 67.35. The problem is it didn't hold. And when it failed, bang, we slap a fail on it and we get that out of Dodge. And then we realize, hey, wait a second, that news is not the news that we thought would rally this name. I'm learning, everybody, if something does not go your way, forget about all your work that you've done. It's not going to work. Make sure you punch out. That's that. That was a great trade. All right, next trade. I want to talk about Disney because we actually put it on, and then we could talk about Tesla. Palantir, we never got filled, but we were looking at it, man. 17 long, that never came in, but man, did the long come in. We could talk about Palantir, but let's just talk about Disney. Why? Because that was a big winner for me today on the show. All right. I'm not allowed to talk about like, oh, Disney was the #1 P&L stock on the show, but if you're still with me, bang, it was the #1 stock P&L wise on the show, and it was because of your boy. Look at this, 93.50 right there. Disney, I was like, I'm not going to wait for this name, so it took out the pre-market high. We bought 93.50s. Then all of a sudden, we're just minding our own business, and it comes right back in, and we're like, all right. So there it is, man. We took this long against $93. That's 93.30. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, that actually sounded pretty good. Down there, 95.15. Nice out for Disney. Now, why did we like it? Again, I think this is going to break out. I just don't know what day. This is not a comment. I think Disney's super expensive. I hate the streaming service. I'm not even bringing my princesses. They're over that now. We're not going to Disney. I think Star Wars has been a disaster since they took it over. Every Marvel movie seems to be a disaster. But Price don't lie. And right now, I mean, it's been getting hit, but if you're gonna look at this, we made that bottom of $80. We held this $90. That's where the 50-period moving average is. We got Nelson Peltz. We've got all this talk here about board seats. I think Disney can work. I wanna stay long the name, and today, bang, it was a good one. Now, Tesla, we also wrote down, and you might say, hey, who is this guy? Hey, I'm Sean Katina. Follow me at Trader TV, Sean. Traders, stay late. Glad you're with me. Thank you so much to everybody. Big shout out to Bears versus Bulls today. We wrote down 210, 208 long on Tesla. Why? Because again, man, it just looks like there's some support down here, doesn't it? So we just kept going long. We took some profit, so that was wrong right there at 210. But we averaged it in. Luckily, we were able to get that out. Nice upside move. Then we bought 208s again, kept on working till eventually it didn't, and we lost 208. But the thing about it is, it still held 206. Finishes the day pretty strong up here at 209.50 before a sell imbalance came in and brought this name back in. Do not sleep on Tesla tomorrow at 206.50. I like it. Remember, there's earnings on Thursday. Look, thank you so much for staying late with me. True traders do that. It means a lot to me to do that. Thanks to Neil for covering me on Friday. But we're back, baby. Tomorrow's going to be another banger of a show all day. Join us at 8:30 for everything. For Ramin, for me, Sean, there ain't no one else here. Maybe Obi is. I can't see anybody. Traders stay late, and so does Ramin, and so do you. Thank you to everybody. Oh, guess what? I hear Obi, actually. He's still here. Okay. Stop trying to gift me 5,000 points, my guy. You don't have 5,000 points. Lusick, but I do appreciate the gesture. Hey, here we go right here. I don't know if they ruined Star Wars or not. I have to ask my self-proclaimed nerd friend Neil to see what he thinks about the self-proclaimed. Okay? Actually, this weekend I was with a lot of friends, and there's a lot of dads, part of the hockey, my daughter's hockey, that are huge Star Wars fans. So, you know. What's up, Michael Lloyd? All right, well, it's roll call time, so let's go. What's up, Loser 101? Well, change your name to Winner 101. Man, sometimes positivity, helps bring it. Yo, what's up, Yellow? Trey Only's here. Mr. Weed, what's up? He likes Kush, not bad. What's up, Ponzi Fonzie? What's up, Juan Padilla? It's Benton is in the building. It's Tease Trade. What's up, Tease Trade? Bears vs. Bulls is here, of course. Andrew Chow is here. Tony Price. Mr. Weed. Oh, I already said you. What's up? Paulie D is here. Toilet Brush. Not bad name there. What's up to Benton, Bears vs. Bulls, CompuCare. Everybody's here right now. Thank you. Nobody can hold me down, Zion. All right. Thank you so much for joining again. It's been a fantastic show. True traders, stay late, and you're here with me, so I appreciate it. Go follow me at Trader TV, Sean. The podcast is lit. Go listen to it, and we will find you tomorrow right here on the Market Recap Show. Ciao, everybody.